Hey, everybody. Listen, happy Friday. Okay. We're here today. We're doing trending topics. We're going to have a little conversation. And listen, I am Seema J. Oh my gosh. You lived in a state where Jeffrey Dahmer killed everybody. I was actually thinking, me and Smoke was thinking about doing, a similar conversation. We was just trying to find time because it's so traumatizing. And we know that so many people are triggered by it in different ways. Robin, you just stopped by. You about to watch Ready to Love. Listen, enjoy it. I used to watch Ready to Love all the time, but then after one season, like maybe it was like season 3 or something like that, I kind of fell off because I was getting tired of it was seeming like the couples wasn't really staying together at the end, and it was getting to be a bit much. But I don't know. Did you hear nephew Tommy that he actually went through a cancer crisis, but luckily they removed everything and he didn't have to do chemo. I just heard that the other day. So, God bless him and his family. I want to say he said it was thyroid, but then when they went to take the thyroid out, they saw some in his esophagus, but they cleaned it all out and he didn't have to have chemo. So, God bless him. So, I'm really, I'm just grateful. Like this cancer thing is just beastly. And I guess tomorrow is the first, right? Will be breast cancer awareness month. So everybody, do your preventative care and get yourself checked. Finally called alive. Been working 21 days straight. Tracy, oh my goodness, Tracy, what field are you in nursing? What field do you work in? That's 21 days straight. My, hey Marcella, thanks for stopping by. Glad to see you. Listen, everybody, don't forget to hit that like button. We're here. Okay. Yes. Oh, Marcella, you heard about it. Yes. Praise God. Prayers for him and his family. Yes. Thank God. Very fortunate. So listen, guys, every now and then, I like to do these trending topics. We kind of have fun when we do these. I got friends in the building. So, I got to bring up my buddy. Hey, Canelo.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, Diva. You know I missed you this whole week.
I know you deserted me. You deserted me. I thought you didn't love me anymore. I'm like,
I
hey, what's
love you,
going
baby, but
on?
I love you, but the bed was calling me, and I love it more. The bed
I
is just a comfort.
Listen, I'm not mad at you. Oh, so you starting early. I see you prepared for Halloween over there.
Tomorrow's the first day.
Tomorrow's the first day. I'm not mad at you. Sebastian's in the building. Hey, Sebastian.
Hey guys, I did not drink tequila today, so I'm gonna be very well behaved.
Yeah, right.
Oh, oh, Tracy. First of all, thank you for the super sticker. And you manage 2 psychiatric clinics. God bless you.
Ooh, God bless
Oh
you.
my
God bless you.
goodness.
I did maybe I'm gonna say I don't even know if I lasted 6 months. I used to do per diem at a psych clinic for the pediatric community, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I dealt with for a moment the children with like bulimia, eating disorders, and it's
Oh,
just it's a lot. So God bless you, Tracy. Thanks for working in those clinics, and you had your 21 days. Well, we got a little bit of something going on today. It's trending topic Friday. I'm glad to see you here. And again, thank you for the super sticker. Mo better.
Hola, hola.
Hey. Listen. Oh, Princess, this is catching your first live. Oh, thank you, Princess. Well, here we about to get into it. We about to get into it. So you know what? Let's start off with Nia Long, right? So Nia
mm.
Long has been going through it. She met her man. If I forgot where I put my notes, but I think I remember. I want to say she met him in 2010. They had the baby in 2011. They got engaged 2015, and they've been engaged ever since, right? And he did what he did over there at his job. I will never understand how anybody would jeopardize their money over some sex. Okay. Not me, wouldn't do it, couldn't do it. I never been with anybody that was that good that I would even risk my situation like that. Not my money. But Nia Long, a lot of people would this is the part I don't understand. Why are people so emotional over this 7-year engagement? Where there are people that lived together for 10, 15, 20 years.
Or
Should we go
50.
by the old rule? There was this old saying back in the day, you don't live with don't give the man What is it? If you give them the milk, something about that. What is that saying?
Why buy the milk when the cow is why buy the cow when the milk is free?
Why buy the cow when the milk is free? So should you even move in and live with somebody before you get married? Are you doomed if you are engaged more than a certain time period? And if so, what's the time period? Is a year the cutoff? Is 2 years the cutoff? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Go ahead, Mobet. I'll start with you. What do you think?
She was like, wait, you caught me off guard.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. With me per se, you're not buying the cow before milk at all. No,
so you're not living
mean?
with nobody. You're not living with anybody until you get married.
No, because I know I can cook. I know I can provide. I know I can clean. I know I can do all these things. So I was not raised to do any of those things at all. I was raised old school.
God bless you. God bless everybody that raised you. That is amazing. That's good because a lot of people, they're doing it backwards now. They have the kids and they're living together, and then somewhere along the line they get married, right? So they had a 7-year engagement. Canelo, I go to you. Like, why are people in an uproar? They saying that she must have saw some signs, or else why would she have been engaged for 7 years? Why did they never, push the button and get married? What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna say this: Nia Long has, and I have to give her props. She kept her business out of the spotlight for so long, unless I've just been living up under a rock. The thing is, I'm gonna say this. I may not know 100%, but I believe she knew the red flags. If she would have came out a lot sooner, because like Flip was saying in the chat, she liked the image that she was portraying as when they went out as a couple. So maybe she wanted to keep that, going. She may already have known that everything was going on, like Wendy Williams. She knew that Kevin was cheating. So maybe, it was a pact. Don't do what you do, but don't get caught. He got caught and is embarrassing her. And now she, got to distance herself, because if she stays with him, it's going to make her look crazy. And then it's going to be like, you're accepting what he did to you. So I'm to believe that hopefully she does not go back. I'm just saying. I hope not.
I don't know if she even left though, Canelo.
Precisely.
Yeah. So wait, Tracy said, I know what I bring to the table. You get 2 years tops. Then you got to go if no ring. Tracy, you know what? I will say this. You got to put some standards out there, right? Because there's another saying: if you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. Somebody correct me with that saying, but it's something like that.
That's correct.
Yeah, so you do have to put standards out there. If one of your standards is that you want to get married, okay, so you can't let them walk all over you. And yes, so Tracy, I like that you said 2 years. That's it. If you don't have your life together, know that I'm not the one in 2 years. Then I'm good. Get to stepping. Sebastian, what do you have to say about this subject?
I have to say this, Nia. It's sad that you stayed with him, because now it's your name that's being all over the Twitter streets and everything else. It's your name. Yes, he's the one who did the action, but it's now your name. Nobody knows who he really is, but like you, they do. They do know you. Now there's the whole thing is Nia Long's partner. That's what most headlines write. And speaking of living in someone's home without being married, a year and a half. Okay, you
get 1.5 years for you.
That's my rule. A year and a half. And then that's when a ring should be in consideration. We can't fully say out, in consideration.
Well, she got the ring, right? Because they was engaged since 2015.
Well, the ring rusted then. That ring rusted. A whole child. 7 years. That's half the shit by Sheree.
Well, listen,
oh Lord.
If you do the timeline, they met in 2010. The baby was here in 2011. So things went pretty fast.
What baby?
They have a child together.
Well, no, they have a child together.
Oh, you didn't know that, Mo better?
Yeah,
No,
they have a child together. They have a son, and I want to say the son is what? Is he 10, 11? Yeah, they have a son together. So Mo Walker, you said she knew he was a hoe when he was in San Antonio. Wow. So oh, okay, all right. But you saying there was problems. She didn't like the ring. She was waiting for the new one. Come on, Best IBK. Don't do that now. It's a Friday night. Stop that. So Marcella said, I need my benefits, health, life insurance, his social security, LOL. So that's why you saying that, Marcella, you're not playing those games, right? So you know what? If you're in the chat, give us a timeline. What is your timeline? We got 2 years. We got 1.5 years. What is your timeline to know that, listen, either this person wants you or they don't, and they need to move on. If your goal is to get married, what is your timeline? And Marcella, thank you so much for the super stick. I truly appreciate it. Yeah, so what's the timeline? You said better than I know that's right. Listen, here's the problem with what they call in some states. I know the timeline is different in every state, right? But in some states, wait, Black Panthers. Where did Mo Better go? I lost it. She said, Mo Better, if you out there, she's Black Panther saying you are beautiful. She said you resemble blue face lady. That rapper, that crazy couple. Okay, so Sean, you saying 1 year, and we got 2 years. So I think we can average it out. I think people are mostly saying 1 year after the engagement. I think people are pretty much saying 2 damn years. That's it. People are pretty much saying kind of the same thing. You ain't going to have all this time to figure out if I'm the one or if you really want me. Okay. Here's the other problem. I'm going to tell you this: the common law marriage. After so many years, some states, right, when you live together that long, they will consider you like a common law married. But when you have been with somebody for so long, and unfortunately, if something happens to that person, you will have no rights to say or do anything. If you are living with somebody and they got to go to the hospital, and you could be their longtime partner, they could have told you everything, all of their wishes. But legally, if you are not married to this person and there's no paperwork to say that you have the right to say XYZ, you have no rights. Okay. I have family members that was in common law situations, and I had a family member that never divorced the first wife, but was in a common law situation for 15 years. Unfortunately, when he passed, the first right had the right to everything. And even though everybody in his life only knew the common law wife. But that's messy because people, you know what? We all go to sleep and we take for granted that tomorrow's gonna come. And they're like, oh, I'm gonna change the name on my insurance policy tomorrow. And then tomorrow you forget. And then the next thing you know, you don't wake up, and now you left behind a whole big mess. Flip, you said 40 days. We can't even get to know your brothers and sisters. Flip, you starting fast tonight. We can't even get to know your brothers and sisters and your family members in those 40 days. Get out of here. No 40 days. Come on, Flip. Give us some more.
I don't have time for Flip tonight. He is not putting me in the hospital.
I love Flip. He always stands for me.
He is not putting me in the hospital.
Oh, so Linda, you saying if married, there's no common law wife. No, right. But what I'm saying is that she was the one that was living with him for over 15 years, but he never divorced the wife. And then at the end of the day, all the insurance policies, everything it went to the wife, even the pension. And I'm calling her common law for speaking purposes, but she was the woman that lived with him for over 20 years. When she called the job, they was like, I'm sorry, we can't help you. Because he got a wife. It was just messy. It was so messy. Smoke, you're in the building. Hey, so listen. My 2 sons are here. My niece is here. Okay, my buddy's here. Everybody's here. We're all good. Okay, Sebastian and Smoke, they my YouTube sons. But anyway, Smoke, How
Yeah.
long are you giving somebody? How long are you giving somebody? When you're in a relationship, you want to get married. Do they get 7 years like Nia Long? Do you get 1.5 years, 2 years? What are we doing?
I'm gonna wait until the ink clears on the insurance money once I done finish pushing them down the stairs. That's how
You
long I'm
sound like
waiting.
a boy.
That's how long. That's how long. That's how long I am waiting. But in all seriousness, you're saying like how long before I get married to someone, or how long to get to know them?
So Nia Long, a lot of people were emotional like Nia Long, saying, "Oh, she knew something, that's why she never married him." Who stays engaged for 7 years? So I'm just trying to get a clarification here. What is our time frame? So far we came up with 2 years seems to be the sweet spot. If this person in your life hasn't made a decision after 2 years of dating you, whether they want to marry you or not, and then I guess you can be engaged for 1 year. But if the engagement lasts past 2 years, do you need to be done?
I mean, this is tricky for me, because if you would have asked me this question like 5 years ago, I would have said 3 to 4. But the way that I'm looking at it now, and just the institution of marriage, and Iyanla Vanzant did an episode about this long ago that was really good. She's like, we're so preoccupied for preparing for the wedding that we don't prepare for the marriage. So my thing is, I don't know. I don't have a time frame on whether that if for my significant other, like if we decide we want to get married, we can, but it's not a deal breaker for me to show that there's any less love, commitment, or trust between us. So it's a tricky subject, but like just be, I guess, to answer the question, I would say roughly 3 to 4 years. Like that gives you enough time to know you, enough time for your family to investigate and scope the person and give you feedback, being like, you may not seeing this or getting this. So it's like, if you're not sure that you want to take that leap with someone, then it's time to go.
Okay, hold on one second, because I got to read this for Tracy. Tracy, don't do this tonight. You said my son been living with his fiance for 15 years. Hope he don't marry her.
After you finish reading Tracy's message, I gotta talk to Smoke for a second before I forget.
Talk to me, Camila.
I gotta finish this. Hold on one second, Camila. Wait, hold on. But that's another story. He is a good man. Common law in Connecticut after 7 years. So yeah, and let me tell you something. Here's another reason to be careful about who you move in with, right? Especially if they're moving into your space. When somebody is in your house for more than 30 days, and if they get a piece of mail there at your house, you can't just kick them out. No, I ain't got time for all that. You gotta be careful who you let up in your space. But Tracy, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate it. I truly do. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here. So yeah, so Smoke, you said that you're going to give them about 3 to 5 years.
3 to 4 years, roughly.
3 to 4 years. Okay, I hear you.
Camila want to challenge me, so bring it on, Camila.
Oh no, it's not a challenge. You just said something that just hit me. You said, you would give a person 3 to 5 years. No, 3 years to decide whether they want to marry you or not, right?
Right.
How are you just going to contradict yourself, because you just said you're not going to wait too long to let the ink dry on the paper by pushing them down the stairs? Who would want to marry you?
But Camilo, I'll just be talking a whole lot of mess. I don't be serious when I say stuff.
I have to mess with you on that.
Wait. Hold on, guys. Common sense. You said you with Tracy. I'm praying my son doesn't marry his fiance.
Woo! Y'all some shady mother-in-laws. Y'all don't like these women.
Y'all ain't gonna do me tonight. Y'all ain't gonna look.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I told my son, I said, can I pick out your girlfriend? We gotta like these people, guys. We gotta like these people. They're gonna be, they potentially gonna give birth to our grandchildren. They're gonna be in our lives for the rest of our lives. We gotta like them. And yes, Mo Walker, you are absolutely correct. You have to actually evict them. So no, don't be coming over my house and trying to stay here for a minute. No, we're not doing that. You're right, Diva. That's why nobody's not living with me. Get no mail to my house. You said not even your kids. See?
Was it Smoke that was talking?
Yeah,
There was Smoke that was talking?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
what-
that was Hope.
Yeah,
Wait, what
yeah,
I say?
We're already married, Boo. So just go ahead and come on.
Oh, that's more better. That's more better.
Wait, what I say? I didn't say anything. What I do?
No, we're
No, you
married.
didn't do anything. She said y'all already married. She said
Yeah.
y'all already married. So just don't worry about it. Wait,
Oh,
Oh, more better.
Tracy.
You need to watch your back because he's gonna push you down the stairs when you turn your back, and your life insurance belongs
I
to
did
him.
the same thing.
Camilo, that's too obvious. I'm just gonna wake up one morning and make a nice pot of cream of wheat grits. They will never know.
You
Wait, hold on, everybody. Tracy, thank you so much for the super figure. My son paid for her to finish college. He is waiting for her to fix her credit. Tracy.
Tracy, come on the panel. We want to hear it live.
Not with Tracy.
Oh my God. I can't do this right now. Wait a minute. You said lose weight and finally get stable in her career. She don't do.
Ooh, I've been loving you for too long.
Oh my God. Oh my
I
God.
cannot do this right now. Yes, listen. Thomas says, I'm trying to tell you, a mother knows the best woman wife for their sons.
That's
we know.
true. That's
we
true.
know. Okay.
That's true.
We know. Absolutely, Diva. I have 3 boys and we have rules and guidelines for a wife. I'm trying to tell you, we got a list here. Don't be bringing anybody up in here. I gotta know her people. Okay, we gotta talk about this together as a family. Let's all have dinner and figure this thing out together. Okay.
I have one question, Diva. Though.
Yes.
Everybody get to choose the woman, but y'all ain't got to wake up with her.
Oh.
Technically, Camilo, technically you do have to, because let's say your family likes them and you like them and y'all break up. Trust me, the family has to break up with that person too.
They don't.
They
don't. I don't believe that.
The thing is, okay.
But listen, Camilo, we trying to help y'all because you're blinded by the sexual experience you might be having with this person, and they may be too messy for you. We trying to help.
Well, let me tell you, because I needed all the help I can get, because my mother and the whole store told me about a particular one that I wanted, and we worked at the same job, and told me when I was in Alabama what she was doing. So, yeah, I know.
Wait, Camilo, you have a wife?
No, this was when I was in. This was when I was 20. I wanted her to be my wife.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so wait 1 second. Bedside BK giving us statistics here, percentages. Okay?
Yes, break it down.
Percentages. Hold on to your feet, people. 47.5% of Black American women never marry. Probably true. 66% are single moms. Yep. Probably true. 31% of their children are raised in poverty. Yes, it is true. We must do better. 4 weeks.
Oh my God, Bessie, you're not gonna. Y'all ain't gonna kill me tonight.
Yes, we are, Camilo. We gonna
kill me.
Hold on. Best I thank you for dropping the knowledge. Thank you for that super sticker. You know what? The next person I get with is gonna be 4 weeks. Cause you are right. I never got married. So hold on now. I'm part of this 47.5%. Okay. So I'm part of this 66% because I'm a single mom. Okay, Best I thank you for your help. Tonight I've been raised to another level. The next person I meet, I'm gonna say 4 weeks. You got 4 weeks, so I'm done. Go ahead. Who
wants to see? Y'all better walk when y'all do this crap because my heart cannot take this. My head is already spinning. Y'all ain't put me in the hospital. I'm just saying.
Listen, let me tell you something. Next time y'all see me, I'm gonna be married.
Well, technically you are married. What about your husband, Michael?
Oh yeah, I saw him in the chat a couple of days ago. He said, "Hey, baby mama, get on that."
Where my baby daddy? Listen.
Oh my God, I can't.
Listen, Roberta. 4 weeks, girlfriend. The next time you get with a guy, you meet him. We gonna break these what is it? Generational curses here. We gonna get them 4 weeks. That's it. 4 weeks. I love it. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, Best Side. 4 weeks. Y'all gonna get 4 weeks.
God,
yes. Who wanted to speak?
Me, Sebastian.
Yes, that's Sebastian.
Okay, first of all, we need to realize something. Arranged
Yeah.
marriages last longer than actual marriages. Statistics have showed this. For example, arranged marriages have 4% divorce rates.
Oh wow.
Actual marriages have 40 to 50% divorce rates.
Okay.
So maybe arranged marriages do work.
Are you
Do
talking
they have a
culturally?
choice?
Yeah, because have you like about New Jersey? What's her name? What's her name? The
Oh, the
one
girl
who's
from Housewives, right?
You
yes,
talking married to
yes,
medicine?
Teresa?
No,
no,
the other one, the Pakistani. I think she's
yes,
Pakistani.
her.
Yeah.
Who,
Aiden,
Anila?
Aiden's
No, on New Jersey. I forget her
Oh,
name.
Oh,
Jennifer.
oh,
Her
Jennifer.
oh.
husband's a plastic surgeon.
yes,
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Oh,
Jennifer.
they was arranged?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, they were.
Oh.
But I don't
Listen,
think I don't think it's in their culture to get divorced once they're arranged. They just stick it out, like her mom did. Her
But
Right.
mom
her
is
mom,
mad at
you see how
her father.
her mom is so miserable. Her mom is
Yeah.
like just saying like how like it is fucked up. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
It's effed up. Like she doesn't
Well,
like it.
no, listen, you know what? You know what, Sebastian? You are probably right with those numbers and that information. It depends on who you arranging me with, okay?
Yes.
It
I
depends on
was
who
gonna
you
say that.
arranging me with.
A
I might be able
billionaire?
to do it. But it depends on who you're arranging me with. Miss True Kelly, you're in the building. Give me 1 minute. Let me read this super sticker. Tracy, thank you. And then I'll come to you. She went to Harvard and works at see, Tracy,
Ooh,
you
now
feeling
see,
some type of way
I'm
about this.
done. I am
Wait,
so done
she
with
went
Tracy
she
tonight.
went to Harvard and worked at a car dealership. That says a lot. He is over the road truck driver trainer for FedEx #2 trainer in the US. So he's doing very well for himself. But you know what, Tracy? Do they have kids? He's connected to her. He's connected to her. I don't know what we could do about your situation, Tracy.
She behind
Diva,
the
You
gate.
gotta give me a minute. I gotta put my thinking cap on. But obviously, some men are into saving people and fixing them up, and they're into projects, for lack of a better word. And I think that's what your son is doing right now. We're gonna
Diva,
keep him in prayer. We're gonna keep
Eugene
him
and
in prayer.
Toya.
We're gonna
Diva,
keep him in prayer.
Diva.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Common sense. When my boys lived at home, I did background checks on everyone in their family.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
I didn't have the choice anymore.
Y'all is not killing me
Listen, we're
tonight.
learning a lot tonight. Who would have known? Okay. Now I'm gonna do 4 weeks because I no longer want to be part of a statistic. Okay, I'm giving these men 4 weeks, and also you got to do some. You perhaps maybe have to do some background checks. Okay, maybe we're gonna have to do that. But Sin, you're in the building. Miss True Kelly, I think I skipped over you. You're in the building. What do you want to say?
Well, I was just for Nia Long. I don't like once you get engaged. I feel like it's a year and a half, right? Just to
Okay.
book the wedding and plan a wedding. You shouldn't be engaged for years on end because the engagement is just like the little stepstone for you to plan the wedding and then get married. It's not meant to be like a lifelong thing. And there's some people who just don't want to be married. I don't know if it's like the legal paperwork or like I don't know what it is, but it's just like I don't want to get married, but I want to be with somebody. It's a weird thing, but I think that's what she's suffering from because it happened with her last relationship. She's just like, I just don't want to get married, but I want to be with you. It's a weird thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think too that things happen fast in terms of them having a child, right? They met in 2010. The son was born in 2011. They got engaged 2015. Um, so things went fast with them. And once you have a child with somebody, you do want to, to the best of your ability, be with that person and raise your child with that person. And maybe she did see some signs and was hoping he, would change, and she was trying to give it a moment. I don't know. We
But I
need to
feel
find
like
out more. Go ahead.
I feel like at her age, at her grown age, she'd have been like cut it off because she was 25, maybe 30. I could see it,
Uh-huh.
but at that age, she should know better by now. Like, okay, no, I don't have time to waste. You know.
Yeah, it's a lot because I think sometimes when people have a kid, they start to feel a little bit different. It's a lot. But Sin, you're in the building. What do you want to add to the conversation?
I just came to tell you I was leaving because my stomach and my back is killing me. Tracy is going to give somebody a cardiac arrest with these damn super chats, okay? Oh my god! And then, oh my god, I
Oh
can't.
my God. I'm with you, Sid.
Oh.
I am with you. I already told Diva I'm out because I can't.
Oh, Tracy,
I
tell
got
all the
everybody in
business.
LA. I got someone for everybody.
Oh,
Tracy,
I'm done.
Tracy
I'm so done.
said no, she doesn't have any kids. All
I'm
she
done.
do is shop more than me.
I
You know
am.
what?
Tracy.
Oh my God, I cannot do this
can't.
right now. But
I
yes,
can't.
wait. Tracy, I think Flip is talking to you. He said Tyler Perry got his neck gripped right
Sure
there.
does.
Okay.
Sure
You better,
does.
look, I still got a bone to pick with him when I see him in person again.
Who?
Look,
Trey and Tyler Perry?
yes.
What he do to you?
Look, go look at look. I'll tell you about it later.
Send me the links. Put it in the chat. Put it in the private
Okay.
chat. I want to read.
So I think we came to a lot of conclusions. Thanks to Nia Long in this situation. Unfortunate for her, but it taught us a lot, right? Now we know we're gonna take it in the middle, right? The max you should be waiting after somebody asks you to be their wife, husband, or whatever is 2 years. 2
2
years.
years.
I thought you
If
said
you
4
wait
weeks.
past 2 years, they don't want you. You don't want them. Something is not right. Okay. You need to reevaluate the situation, perhaps get the ring back and move on.
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
We're not giving the ring back. We're not giving the ring
We
back.
keep
No,
the
you
ring.
have-
Okay,
no,
we keep the ring.
You
No.
V.
You gotta get the ring back.
V.
Unless
No,
you got
it don't work like that. It do not work like that.
Ooh.
Sebastian,
Oh,
we're
please
keeping
don't
the
get
ring.
Sebastian started on the ring. Please don't get Sebastian started on the ring.
Hold on.
No.
Hold on.
Go have a drink, Sebastian. No.
Wait,
Ow.
ring does not go back. Whoa. That
No,
was
the
one
ring
thing.
does go back.
It does go back.
It goes
No,
back.
I'm Erica. Them earrings are mine until the court takes them off my earrings.
Well, see, I would say this: the only way that the ring doesn't go back is the man cheats.
No.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, cause listen. I ain't gonna tell all my business, but I'll tell some of it. If you got the ring on your birthday, then no, it does not have to go back. Right. So you can give it back if you want to, but in every situation, you do not have to. But a reason to give it back is because it was given as a promise to get married. And
Right.
if you don't get married, then technically they can get the ring back. But they better not ask you to get engaged on your birthday, because then it would be looked upon as a gift and it could get a little tricky. Jonah, thank you for the super sticker. I truly appreciate it. Nina Love said it's a gift. I ain't mad at you, girlfriend. It's a gift, okay? We're going to think about. So you know what? I'm not an Erica fan in some ways, but in this particular case, until the judge told me I got to give it back, I may have to keep that ring, okay?
On it.
For everything for you traumatizing me and making me wait 7 years to get married, I'm keeping the ring.
I'm calling out. Y'all some thieving hussies. Oh, you hear me? Y'all some thieving hussies. Taking that man's hard-earned gift.
I cannot with you. You are crazy.
Wait a minute now. Black Panther says you're gonna get my son's ring back.
Exactly.
You coming to get it.
That's because mama put the down payment on him. That's why.
Oh, that's the
Let me tell you something. Unless it's an heirloom, unless it was your great grandmother's, not even your grandmother, it gotta be your great grandmother's. Okay, if it was part of your great grandmother's ring, then maybe I'll be nice. But if it was your grandmother's, I may still keep it. So, Tony, you said the court will take the ring back too. Oh shoot! Not if you gave it to me on my birthday.
Wait. Well, no, Diva. You know what? I take that back. I'm not gonna call y'all thieving hussies. I'm just gonna start calling y'all thieving Sherees, because that's something Sheree would do.
Now, you know what? Ooh, you know.
Low budget.
Well,
Those are fighting words.
Listen, wait.
Ain't no man gonna give
Come
Sheree a
on,
ring
Nina.
that
Hold
big.
on, guys.
Forget about it.
Nina said you waste years of my life. Exactly, Nina. You promised to marry me, and now you don't want to marry me, and you wasted years of my life. This ring is mine. I'm keeping it.
I'll tell you like this. Now, see, this is another reason. If you get down to the finish line, you got to cross that line to get married. You get up there and he ain't there. You better keep it. That's all I'm saying.
Listen. Plum, thank you for the super sticker. Plum, thank you for the super sticker. I truly appreciate it. Princess, Thank you. I got to mix a little water with the tea. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh. Wait, hold on now. Hold on now. Get the ring back or lose your
Tugga, she's. Oh my God.
Okay, Tugga.
Well, Diva, I know why people are saying that, because if they don't get the ring back, the deposit becomes the store. So you come on now, they got to get their finances.
Okay, all right, Tracy. I'm gonna look. Diva said I follow you on Instagram. Go look at my son. He is fine. He's kind. He's loyal. The only man I know who doesn't cheat. That ring was $35K. I was like, what? Oh my God. You
Tracy,
got a good man.
Tracy.
Tracy, you listen. See, you Tracy, you're gonna have me be bad on here now because I got two beautiful nieces. We may have to do an arranged marriage. Because Sebastian just told us that arranged marriages last longer. Tracy, we're gonna talk. They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous.
But Diva, I gotta say this. I think arranged marriages only work when you're like 5 and 6, and you make sure that they know at that age. Now, when you get like 20 and 30, I don't think that works.
Wait, say that again. What do you mean?
I said arranged marriages probably work better when you're like 5 or 6, because when you're getting arranged, the parents are already there. And they're gonna make you know that's who you're gonna marry. Once you get to 20 and 30,
but you know what though, Canelo, sometimes blind dates work. I mean, you're not getting married like right then and there. It depends on who you want to set me up with. I might go for arranged marriage now. I might. Tracy, Mo is saying this to you. That chick must have the good. She got the
good. She got that don't go chasing waterfall.
She got that sunshine.
Listen to the rivers and the lakes like he used to.
I cannot.
Tracy,
I'm done. I'm so done.
Tracy, Flip is talking to you. That girl got the wop. That girl got something serious. She got it good. She better write a book, because honey, she got it good. Okay, the man done paid for her, went to school. He done bought her the top tier ring there is. Okay, I'm sure she probably sitting at the table like 10 feet away. I could probably see her ring. This girl got the good. She got the good. Yes, she does. Okay. All right. So that was Nia Long. We got a lot of life lessons out of her situation. Prayers up to Nia Long, because this man, he did the most. Okay. He had a whole situation. He moved to Boston knowing that he had a whole scandal that was about to come out. He's messy boots, okay? And but a lot of them are, okay? And so Shaq even came out and supported him, talking about, well, I'm not going to talk about this man because I did a lot of dirt myself when I was married to Shawnee. Anyway, Shaq, go sit down. You could have done dirt, but now that you know better, you teach better. Tell that man he was dead wrong and sit him in the corner and get him all the way together.
But Diva,
real quick.
I'll go after Camilo.
I want to say this real quick. How he has the nerves to stand up there and say something. The only reason why Shani was with him was because of his money. That thing ain't no looker. The only thing that probably would look for him is a goat. How have he been with anybody since he's been married? I mean, since he's been divorced? I'm just asking. Nobody wants that thing. I'm just saying that is hideous.
Well, Camilo Hoops from Flavor of Love. I mean, if she's with Flavor of Love, then she could be with Shaquille O'Neal. That was kind of like an upgrade for her. But
yes, it was
but
upgrade.
For the ladies in the chat and also on the panel, don't women have like a sixth sense that y'all call y'all intuition, where y'all know things before they happen? What happened to Nia Long's intuition? Was it broken?
Ooh. Hold on one second. Before I get into that, hold on one second. Mel said arranged marriage, marrying someone without knowing them sounds like a deranged marriage to me. You know what, Mel? You know what, Mel? Here's the thing, though, Mel. You know what? No matter how long, sometimes you think you know somebody and you don't know them until you say I do, and you live with them, and you like, well, where's the person I was dating? Like, who is this right here, right?
And half the time, go ahead, Diva. I'm sorry, baby.
Okay, let me just read this and then you can go. Andrea, thank you so much for the super chat. Truly, truly appreciate it. So he said, I got sued to get back the ring. Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, he was an attorney. I had sold house and left job to move to Texas. So you see, that's what I'm saying. Some of them are messy. No, you should have been able to keep that ring. You done sold your house and you left your job and you moved to Texas, and then he bamboozled you, and now he wants that ring back. He was messy. Andre, tell me if you had to. Tell me if you had to. If the judge says you had to give it back. Did the judge say you had to give it back? Fifi, thank you so much. Yes, we do see signs in the northern. We do ignore signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
We do. We do ignore signs. But you know what though? If you listen, everybody has issues, right? And there's different levels of the issues that they have. We're never going to find a perfect person. So sometimes you look at it and say, that's just them. And by the time you realize that all of those things that you ignored is really problematic, you're knee deep in the situation. You know, my girlfriend used to say, like, let me know the situation before I become locked and loaded. You know, and that was a way of saying, like, be true with me before I fall in love with you, because love blinds people. It really does. And whether it's right, wrong, or different, you know, you get blinded by love, and then that's why your outside people got to help you. That's why Tracy's trying to help her son. He's blinded by love right now in the good. I'm gonna call it the good. Okay, he's blinded by that right now. So she's trying to save and help her son. So you know, I ain't mad at her. But go ahead. Who was gonna say something?
I was gonna say that love is a hell of a drug, right? So once you look at love, sometimes those red flags look fuchsia, look like, you know, roses. You just like, oh no, that's nothing.
Oh,
Let
she's
me
going
just
in and
push that
out.
aside, because you're just so in love and you're like, oh no. You gotta make that choice. I gotta leave or I gotta stay. With Nia Long, like, I feel bad for her because it's just embarrassing that the whole world knows everything, right? A
Right.
lot of marriages deal with infidelity. A lot of people deal with infidelity, but usually it's between those three people, right? So the wife, the
Right.
husband, and whoever was like stepping in. But now
Right.
the whole world is in your business, and that
Yep.
embarrassment sometimes hurt more than the cheating.
Yes,
You
it
know,
does.
and
Well, then she
that's
should
the
have never stayed with
problem.
him
Like
for
that, he
7 years.
didn't
I'm
help
gonna
her
let her
out.
come up,
She
Diva. I'm gonna
was
go. I'm gonna see y'all later.
blindsided.
Okay.
Here,
Bye,
Camila.
baby.
But I mean, you can't,
Am
you
I
know, it's
am
the
I wrong
embarrassment.
for am I
What?
wrong for is she's been silent this whole entire time, correct?
Yeah, she has.
Mm-hmm.
No ma'am. Mm-mm. No ma'am. No ham, no spam. I'm not being silent. You have exploded my life.
Mm.
Why am I being silent? I've been with you for 7 years, God knows why, without being with you. And so now it's being ostracized that you're cheating on me this whole entire time and I'm being silent. Like,
Yeah, they actually been together since 2010. So what is that? 12 years, right? And they've been engaged since 2015.
no
Crazy
ma'am.
K, thank you for the super sticker. I truly appreciate it. His son has to deal with this. That's yes. You know what? We're forgetting about the son. We're
Mm-hmm.
forgetting about the son. I didn't even think about that. They have a
Yeah.
son that is 10. I think he's, what is he, 10 or something like that. He
Well,
has to deal with that. Yes, yes. I forgot it. you know,
And
that went over my head. Thank you, Crazy K, for mentioning that. Yes, who was going to speak?
I think that's why she's been
Hey,
silent,
Dina.
though, right? Because of the child and because of that situation where it's like it's already heavy, right? The fall is
Right,
already gone through all this mess. All this stuff is out there. We don't know if it was consensual. We don't know if it's harassment. We don't know what he was doing in the organization. It's like a black cloud over it. So now if Nia comes out and talks about how distraught she is, how, you know, like it has another layer of conversation. And the son's already dealing with something. So it's like she's probably just like, let me just be quiet. Let me stay out of the limelight. Let them handle that. And I'm just going to try to recoup whatever life I have left with me and my son. That's what I think she's probably trying to do.
I can agree with you. I totally, you know, I knew about the son. I just wasn't relating. Thank you, Crazy K, for bringing that into the conversation. Andre, you're here. How you doing?
Hey,
Hey.
hey.
What do you want to say?
Oh, I was just, Yeah, I mean, you do actually have to give the ring back. I got sued to give the ring back. It was a gorgeous, like 3 carat girl. It was probably worth like 40 grand.
Wow.
And I was so bummed because I had already sold my house, left my job where I'd been working like 4 or 5 years. We were supposed to move to Austin, Texas, but I mean, he was a cheater. He was a liar. But I mean, handsome, 6'5", like dressed to perfection, gold Rolex, everything on paper you would want, but a
Right.
snake, you
How
know.
big was his feet? I'm
What?
just
Oh, stop it. Okay, let me ask you this. How long after you moved did he like flip the script, so to speak?
Oh, no, I didn't move. See, that's the thing. I had sold, I had movers coming, and he emailed me a prenup. And
Mm.
basically, it was horrible. I mean, it was basically like everything, like he wasn't going to give me any money. I was going to have the money from my house, and that was going to have to be my money. He was just very like he was controlling anyway, a guy like that, and real vain. And anyhow, so I saw that prenup, and I was like, nope. I was like, I'll just move into DC. I was in Maryland, and I was like, let me move just into DC, find myself another job, and we can go get counseling. And so that's what happened, honey. So I just restarted my life in DC, where I had my friends and my support group. I'm glad I found out. But he said, yeah, if you don't sign it and you come down here to Texas, you're going to have to leave your furniture and everything, your boxes on the in the front yard. I'm not going to let you in the house unless you sign it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, no, this is like, I dodged a bullet, really. But I mean, it looked like fantastic. He would take me on vacations to like the Ritz-Carlton in South Beach and, Las Vegas. And, it was a whirlwind, but I mean,
How did y'all meet?
he was actually working for George W. Bush, and
oh.
I was in the Junior League of Washington, and we were having just like a Thursday, like a monthly happy hour, and so that's how I met him.
Wow.
But we
I have
got
a question.
we got engaged at the Blair House, which is the house that's really kind of part of the White House complex. And I mean, he was very romantic and very, over the top with flowers but that's what they say control freaks do.
Yes, they do. Yes,
I
they
have a
do.
question for Andrea. I have a question.
Okay.
Andrea, how big was the bank account?
Oh.
I mean,
Bastard.
see,
He had money.
yeah, he did. He did.
He had money. I could tell by what you're saying. He had money. He was very arrogant. He was very confident. But thank God he sent the prenup before you got out there. But he should have sent it before you sold your house. But even though I think some things were meant to be, it probably was meant for you to move where you moved to. But still, that was messy. You had sold your house and everything already. Then he want to email this prenup and talk about if you don't sign it, that's it.
Yeah, that was basically it. And I said, well, listen, why don't I just move down there? I'll get a lawyer in Texas once I get down there. And he was just like, no, 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 and just really like kind of like twisted my arm, trying to really get me to do it. And so anyhow,
was he ever married before? Or this was going to be his first marriage?
No, he was 2 years younger than me. I think I was 32 at the time. He was 30. I had been married. I married my college boyfriend.
Okay.
And I got divorced like when I was 30. And so I was hoping this was going to be, who I was going to remarry and have children with. And we had talked about all that. And so, yeah, and I have not been engaged again since. That was 2004. So, but, I'm safe and I'm not in an abusive marriage. And, I don't mind working and providing for myself and, and just more low key.
Right, right, right. But you know, the good thing is, listen, now we know 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Give him 4 weeks.
Yeah. Well, girl, I just can't even find somebody to, that I even want to go and sit across the table and have dinner with. It's hard, and it's also hard dating after you have breast cancer. That makes you
Oh.
just and.
I'm sorry to hear
So
that.
it's just me, myself, and I right now. So it's
Right. I remember you mentioned that. Listen, my mom went through it. And they give you different protocols based upon your age too. So my mom, when they found out, my mom was 69. So she was fortunate in the sense that it was still an aggressive protocol. Because I don't know where they get their numbers from and how they get it, but at 70, they would have gave her a different protocol. But either way, my mom is, doing well. She's fine. But I know several people who were hit with it. So I'm glad you're doing well. And
oh
did you have to do chemo and radiation or no?
no, I didn't, but I didn't know if I would have to, and that's a whole other story where my landlord was like, "Well, 4 days before my surgery, he's like, I'm selling my townhouse, so you're gonna have to move out." And I said, "Well, I'm having surgery," and he's like, "I know." And I said, "Well, I can't lift anything or push or pull anything for like 6 weeks." So I had to get all my girlfriends to come over and help me pack and move. And that's what brought me down to North Carolina from DC. I had been in DC for like 20 some years. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Well, thanks for
Mhm.
sharing. I truly
I love,
appreciate it.
I love
Common sense,
watching
thank
TV.
you.
Okay,
Huh?
bye, guys.
Oh, you're leaving? Okay, bye. Thanks
Well,
for stopping
I'm
by.
not,
Okay.
I'm not leaving them, but I'm gonna just shut up.
Oh,
No.
no, listen, we enjoyed you sharing. I mean, I truly appreciate it. I know it's not easy, for people to share, especially when it comes to certain topics. So I do appreciate it. But I will say this, sometimes I read a lot of motivational stuff. And, one of the things that always stick with me is things don't happen to you, they happen for you. So that prenup coming, it saved you. Praise the Lord and thank God, because when you see these signs, I joke around a lot, but we have to truly learn how to acknowledge the signs that we see, because it's our intuition. I mean, if you believe in God, is God trying to tell you that's not the one? So hold on, hold back. Common sense, thank you so much. I do appreciate your comment. Tony Robinson, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you so much. I truly do appreciate it. So yes, does anybody want to add anything else to this conversation before we move on to our next topic?
Mm-mm. We
Okay.
good.
All right, we're good. So let's talk about this. I saw an interview with Drew from
Mm-hmm.
Real Housewives of Atlanta. And
Ooh.
Drew said that
Ooh.
our girl,
Oh
she by
yeah.
Who's our
Sheree,
girl?
and you
Mm-hmm.
saw the reunion and you saw that 3 parts. If you made it through the 3 parts, okay,
I
it
didn't.
was a struggle. It was a struggle, but I hung in there to the end. So
I
at the
did.
end, Andy said, I don't have gifts for you, but somebody else does. And they bring out a rack of stuff that was from She by Sheree. And Andy actually put on one of the hoodies. He put on a sweatshirt, right? So he put on a sweatshirt. What Drew later told us, once the cameras, they said cut. Once the cameras was done, Sheree went around collecting all her stuff, so she didn't have gifts for nobody. She took all of her stuff back. Sheree, that is messy. Now, Sebastian, that's low
That's
budget
low
for you,
budget.
okay? That's low budget. You
Listen,
gonna
that's
bring
not low
like
budget.
yes,
Wow.
yes. You know what, Mel? Andy might have kept his sweatshirt, but Drew said nobody else got to keep anything from She by Sheree.
That
Ain't
wasn't
Sheree,
that
low
just like
budget.
Sheree? Ain't that just like Sheree?
ain't it though?
That's terrible.
Ain't it
That's not
though?
low budget. That's not low budget.
She doesn't have a budget. She only went to
Exactly.
middle school. She only went to middle school.
Oof.
You trying to call her dumb?
As
I am.
rocks.
No.
Actually, you know what happened, Diva? She didn't
What?
confiscate it back. They just rejected all her Venmo and PayPal requests when they knew when she said she was bringing stuff out at the end of the reunion. That's why they didn't pay their funds. Of course.
Ain't nobody trying to put no credit card in no machine for Sheree. Ain't nobody dumb.
That was. I
And
think
she
that was.
deal with known
Li-
felons.
li-
She deals with known felons openly. Get out.
Mm.
Listen, Yes. Les Sean, tacky.
Yep.
How you gonna say Andy clearly said somebody else has gifts for y'all, not merchandise so you can purchase it at the reunion. He said gifts. So I was wondering, okay, they about to get some bags, they about to get a shirt or something like that. And let's be clear, Sheree probably got this stuff for what, $5 or something, or whatever the case may be. You can't give them a sweatshirt so they could perhaps go take a picture with it, put it on their Instagram, and help promote your
Right.
stuff. You
Right.
are a big dummy, Sheree. Sheree, get the app. Sheree, get the
Sheree,
app.
Sheree charges what, $100 for a signature?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. She honestly thinks she's a Nene Links. Now, if Nene were to do it, I can see people actually paying that much for something Nene would sell.
I would feel
Yeah.
bad about purchasing from Nene because I think she would know how to get the merchandise in. But this girl's making the shirts as you order them, and I do mean woven the cotton.
You do think she's making in the basement in Tyrone's former men den that she had for him?
Tyrone is down there making it. He's used to that kind of labor. He's been locked up.
Child. Listen, Tracy, thank you so much for the super sticker. Sheree is giving Walmart money. Listen, she did got Bravo looking low budget. Come on, Nina. Got Bravo looking low budget. Is she serious right now?
At
Mhm.
52.
Nene Lounge, I believe, is still open, and I believe it is doing well. It's
I have
doing
a
well.
question.
Good for
I have a
her.
question,
Yeah.
guys.
Yes.
Isn't she getting?
When did She by Sheree become joggers and sweatpants? I thought it was actually dresses. Season 1, we saw dresses as designs. When were
And
joggers?
Well,
and
Sebastian,
Yeah.
I think she made it up on that season 10 reunion when Andy kind of like
Exactly.
blindsided her, and she's like joggers, and like once she said that, she had to stick with it.
Smoke, couldn't you see her thinking? You could see Sheree when
She saw
trying so hard.
I saw her brain explode like that episode of
Exactly.
SpongeBob where all the things were running in panic and everything was on fire trying to find the file. Like, wait, how do we answer this question?
And Nene slapped her on the back of the head and she said, joggers, yeah, joggers.
Candy
Mm-mm.
even tried to help her too.
And she got mad at Candy.
They
Yep.
all tried to help her, but you know what? I want to. Sheree got to speak to us. Did she at least go back? I don't. You know, she dropped out of school. Okay, did she go back though and get the GED? Did she do something?
No.
Sheree's children are all college educated. The
Yes.
girl is just dumb as rocks. It's not her fault anymore. That's just, and no one's going to marry her. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
And
Well, you
what?
know what? But you know what, Sid? Some of these men, they marry cute. They don't give a darn what's going on upstairs. Some of them marry cute. They don't care.
And
She is a
they
nice
like
looking
to,
woman. She's a
they
nice
like
looking
to
woman.
save, and they
I
like to
think
save women
Sheree's
too.
daughter needs to do She by Sheree. I bet her
Have you
daughter could figure it out.
Tiara.
His body, baby.
Sheree got body. Wait, what did Mel say? Let me see what you said here. Diva, Sheree is still lost in a. Listen. That's why I like Sheree's party plan or whatever. She said, "Well, where is it at? Because I'll go get it." Yeah. What was her name again?
Rowan.
I loved her.
Me
If I ever
too.
throw a party, those girls that put together that fashion show, I will seek them out. They did the thing with that. Even though, you know, her fashions were, you know, from wherever. They did. They made lemon. They took lemons and made lemonade, honey. They did it. Right?
How many outfits from the show actually are on sale, or is she selling?
Listen. When you're gonna bring fashions back to the when you bring in fashions to the reunion and you got to take them back, that's problematic. Yes. Wait. Okay. So being uneducated doesn't mean you're dumb. But for Sheree, yeah, you are correct. You are correct. One foot in front of another. But Sheree is just, she's gone.
How does she make a
not
living?
motivated.
Like, what does she do for a living? Like, how is she providing for herself?
We can't tell a lot.
We don't know.
Allegedly, she's getting half her ex-husband's pension.
Oh,
Who
really?
is? Sheree?
Yeah.
Really?
That's from One Eye
Ooh.
Whitfield. They were married for over 10 years.
I thought she got a lump sum. I didn't know she was gonna have his pension. Like,
Oh
every
no,
year.
she tried. Remember, and he was his own lawyer, and that was not happening. She ain't getting nope.
Chris, you are correct, and you are correct. But you know what? You know what though with Portia? Portia's proven to be let me see how I say.
Use the word simply.
She's not as dumb as we think, right? She's actually coming out on top, even though she's a little ditzy, right?
Yeah.
Portia has that show now. She done stole that poor woman's husband. Now she's living a life with with the other woman's husband, that man. And apparently they're trying to get her back on Roa. Portia is winning right now. She got the sheets, she got the hair. She's winning right now. And they bringing back that show. I guess I'm gonna have to watch that show.
The difference, I think, between Portia and Sheree is Sheree doesn't want to work. She want to be a kept person. She doesn't want to do anything for herself. And Portia's like out here trying to make moves, trying to do things. Yes, she's ditzy, but she's gonna make sure that she can take care of herself at the end of the day. Especially after she got divorced with Cordell. She's like, I want to make sure I don't have to worry about anybody else. Yes, I want a man, but I need to be able to take care of myself. And also, the man I get has to have money as well. But I want to be self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? So
I think Portia, what I love about Portia is I always say she brought herself back up from the ashes. For her to have left that marriage with nothing, and built her way back up to where she is, I do give her a lot of credit for that.
Diva, don't spread misinformation. Diva, don't spread misinformation.
How's that misinformation, Sebastian? How is it?
She didn't build herself. It was the African prince that she had that built her.
No,
but she used the money well.
No, Sebastian, don't do that. Don't do that. What we won't hear is spread lies. If you don't like Portia, that's fine. I can understand that. You can like Keontae or contact lens Kenya Moore. That's fine. But what we're not going to do is knock a black woman down when she had to hustle from the bottom to get to the top where she is. We're not going to knock her methods. We can't agree. We don't agree with her methods. That's fine. But she did have to work her way out with nothing from that marriage. So stop.
She sure did. So wait, Fifi said it's really sad for Sheree. That is true. Meanwhile, Candy has mugs and t-shirts that says BITCH on worldwide. Come on now. And she couldn't get She by Sheree together. And those Check Me Boo t-shirts look like they could be $5 up in the Walmart. Get out of here. I'm paying all that money for who gonna check me boo. D-Bar chat, did anyone see that Sheree's supposed to have dumped Martell for Damian Hall from Guy? I did not, but I wouldn't be surprised. But you know what? He's full. He's a fool. I wouldn't be surprised. So let's close it out with this this last subject. What is my last subject? Who did I miss here? Oh, Nick Canon.
Dirty D Nick.
Dirty D Nick. Let me tell you, I saw the video posted on his Instagram with, I want to say it's Brittany Bell, right? So Brittany Bell gave birth to the 10th child, and there's going to be a number 11 because the other girl that had the twins, the one that had the twins is also pregnant. I don't think her baby came yet, right?
Ooh, Abby De La Rosa?
Abby De La Rosa, yes, she's pregnant. I don't think she had the baby yet, right? So my thing is, I saw the video. Dirty D Nick. I saw the video with Brittany Bell, and he already had 2 kids with her, right? And I saw the video. I don't know if it was her baby shower, but they it was like a nice little thing, and they was writing on her stomach, and they looked like a really nice looking family. And I don't know. To me, somebody needs to take a piece of Nick's brain and dissect it and figure out what is really going on, because I don't get it. And I don't get like how he just runs around, and every time he's with one of the baby mothers and he's doing these photo shoots or whatever, he looks like he's into it and really engaged. Like it's very confusing to me.
Diva,
I don't understand it. Yes.
Diva, I'll say this: we can say that basically Nick Canon is the black reverse version of Jeffrey Dahmer. He just loves creating babies all over as a method for whatever obsession he has within himself, and just like to come and go as he pleases. That's how I see it. I'll put out there. This is not Diva saying. This is not Diva's channel. I'm saying. All the smoke is saying this.
Right. I really feel that he's has a breeding kink.
Yeah.
Something's not right. Go ahead. Who was going to talk?
I was going to say, at this point, he needs to like open up a complex, have a cul-de-sac. Every girl have a house on the block with all his kids. That's the only way he's going to be able to hang out with all his kids and give them all in that amount of time they need. Because right
Mhm.
now they're all over the place. And how can you? I don't know. I don't know how he can spread his love and time and attention
To
at this.
all those kids.
Yeah.
The
All
one
those
that's most
mothers.
shocking to me is the one that I want to say she's a Price is Right model. She's in her
I know her
40s.
personally.
Oh, you do?
I do. I work with her mom at the hospital. Yes.
Oh
That's her
wow.
only child. Yeah.
How does the mom feel about it?
She's happy because that's her only child finally giving her a granddaughter. I mean, giving her a grandbaby, you know, her only child. So she's happy about it. And she's been with this boy for about 15 years. And apparently with other women too. But yeah, he's been with her for quite a while.
Wow. Wait, Diva, someone said that they have lupus and they say that it's also hereditary, so he could be passing down the same disease he has to all those kids as well.
I have to look up lupus. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know if it is or is not. But if someone's saying that it is, they probably know more than I do about that particular condition. But
Did,
obviously, he doesn't care, right?
did you guys hear about the fertility doctor who was like using his sperm to impregnate all the
Yes,
women at
I
the
did.
clinic? And he
The
had like
100 and something
over
women.
like 21 kids, and he too had a hereditary, like he had a disease too that all his kids got.
Wow.
I do. Didn't they do a movie on that? Because I
Yeah, it was
think
a
I feel like
Netflix
on
show. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I did hear about that. And the kids ended up like trying to meet each other and find each other and all of that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
ancestry.com, and they just start seeing matches and stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was very sad. I don't know what he's doing, but I do know this. It's not right. It's unfair. And that's interesting, saying that they've been together that long.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Can I
listen,
say
I don't
something?
want to I don't want to like tear down the woman, right? So I'm just gonna say this generically. If I know for a fact that the man that I am dating is clearly with someone else, I'm removing myself from the equation. I'm good.
Amen. Amen.
I'm good. Like,
Amen.
there's times when, there's points when the other woman just doesn't know. Like, you come to find out that your man or your spouse or whoever might be cheating, but you don't know for a fact, in the beginning stages or whatever. But you don't have to make no decision between her or I. I'm good, and I'm gonna remove myself, and y'all 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or whatever, y'all have fun. I'm out. And I would consider myself extremely lucky if I did not get pregnant by you. And I would be so disgusted, because it's one thing to know that they perhaps are cheating. It's a whole nother level when you know they're cheating or they're doing what they're doing
Unprotected.
and they're not. There you go. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So
That's when you want
Unprotected.
to. Yeah,
Unprotected. Yes.
that's
Yes,
are
when you
they
but
glad you
thank
got
you.
insurance policies.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Are
what
they
insurance policies
practicing
about.
polygamy though? Like, is it like a
Huh?
known? Are they practicing polygamy? Like, is it a known thing between all of them that like this is what we're doing, this is our lifestyle, or is it just like
Abby De La Rosa spoke. She's the only one that I ever heard or saw spoke out. So pretty much what she said is she just said she knew what she was getting into when she got into a relationship with Nick. Um and she just kept talking about how she's a good mother, whatever the case may be. But again, as a person, why would you knowingly sign up? I know there are certain situations and circumstances where it just happens, right? But why would you knowingly sign up to be a single parent? And then what, if you find yourself in a situation and then you have one child and you're a single parent, why would you go back and have 2 and 3 and 4?
right, right.
I
Why
saw
would you
her
do
being
that?
I saw her being interviewed by another one of his baby mamas.
Oh, is that who interviewed her?
That's you saw it? The
I
pregnant
saw
girl?
it. I didn't know who was interviewing her. That was another baby,
That
one of
was
the other
another.
baby mothers.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The
Ain't that
plot.
strange? Keep it 100. Keep it a buck with me. Let me know what's going on so I can make my own decisions. You don't go around
Yeah.
making decisions for my womb for me. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me like that they're not lonely. Like they're like, I don't know.
You think the women are
They're
lonely,
playing
Gigi?
themselves. They're lying to themselves, and they're not thinking about their children at the end of the day because they can take that if they want to, but don't bring a child into this world because you have to live with that for the rest of your life.
Right.
And that
then
child's
what do
gonna
you
have questions.
tell your child about daddy? Like, because some of the brothers and sisters are literally going to be a couple of months apart.
Yeah,
Days
but
Literally.
apart, Diva, not
Days
mine.
apart. You ain't lying. Days apart. So
but
how do you explain this to your child? And how do you really would you want this life for your child?
But if I could
Yeah.
tell a little bit about myself, my mom has like 7 brothers and sisters, right? Only 3
Mhm.
was with her mom and her dad, and then her father has other kids, right? Now, all of the siblings know that Papa was Rolling Stone, but they love their dad. And she would always say my dad would go to each house, pick us all up in his Cadillac, and then we'd go to his house and we'd all hang out. She said, I knew all my siblings and all that. And so they say, like, whatever relationship he had with my mothers, that's on them. But as children, my father treated me well. So I love my father. And what I'm saying? She did say, I would never want to marry a man like my father. But as his child, he raised me well. He treated me well. But I know what type of man I don't want in the future. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's hard to
I
say what the mother should
believe
say.
right. Here's the thing though, right? I don't think that in that situation that he was just straight telling the ladies that, oh, I got this one, this one, this one, and that one. I think they found out. I know about situations as such, right? And they found out. And I do believe you can love the kids. But my thing is, these women are consciously choosing to get with someone and have this person's baby, knowing that he's just dropping his seed everywhere, which is reckless. It's reckless,
Can I
right?
say something after?
Yes, you can. So he's dropping his seed everywhere, which is being reckless. And no matter how much money Nick has, he doesn't have the time to be in all of these places when every time you turn around, he has to be at some maternity ward welcoming in his next child
or taking pictures.
or take
He's so low
or
down.
taking
He is
pictures.
so
Go
low
ahead,
down.
Sebastian. What would you like to say?
First of all, I would like to say that Nick, obviously, before he engages with these women, they have contracts with him. They get tested, the women and Nick. I 100% think that they get tested for STDs and etc.
Sebastian.
If
I
he
Sebastian.
do
get
think so.
tested,
I do think so. I have a relative who's very similar into Nick's ways as well. Very
but he ain't
similar.
Nick. He ain't got Nick's money. Nick gonna slang that
He
thing
don't
and
have Nick's
accept
money, but
it.
he's very similar in that situation.
Yeah, but the money is where the difference is, Sebastian, in this one. It's the money for them. They're not thinking about those kids. They're just looking at the money.
I
And if it was
agree.
smart, every last mother needs to have a life insurance policy on him because they have children with him. And I can almost bet you none of them do.
I don't think they do either. And see, here's the other thing. Listen, I don't want nothing to happen to Nick. And then I want to go to Amy J because you're in the building. I don't want anything to happen to Nick. But God forbid, because this man is stressing himself out in his body, and he has a condition, right? And no matter what you have, whether you have the common cold, the flu, the C thing that we went through for the pandemic, the main thing they tell you is don't stress yourself out and get rest. Your body needs rest.
Well, he don't
There's
need
no
rest. He home.
this man is running around all doing his 17 jobs. Okay. And then in addition to that, imagine the amount of phone calls he gets and the text he gets because he got these 10 children out in the world.
Well, just wait till they get to be teenagers.
It's messy. Amy J, you're in the building. What do you want to add to this conversation?
Same thing as everyone else said. Nick Cannon, I don't know what the issue is, but I can say that the women are not helping it. He will never know the damage that he's done until those kids are grown. I did watch that interview with the Della Rosa girl, and she openly says basically after this baby she's carrying, because she's a set of twins, and she's going to have another child. After this baby, she's going to look for a monogamous relationship. She has already made the decision that Nick will not be in a monogamous relationship with her, so she's going to move on and find another man to be with. Essentially, she's going to help her raise her babies. And That's not the first one that said that. She said Nick gets it. He kind of laughs and says, "Oh, you're not going to just stay with me only." And she's like, "No." So that just shows you the carelessness of the type of women he's picking. You know, so she just doesn't care at all to think about what it would be for a child that know they have all these siblings and they don't know them. And you're making it all about you just having a monogamous relationship now after you experience polyamory.
Mhm.
She wants to be a polyamorous, but she knows Nick doesn't want to be that way.
Can I
But
ask a question to Amy J after she's done?
yeah, I'm fine. I'm finished.
Yeah, no, so my question is, why did it take her having this second child to come to the realization, knowing that he was going around still sleeping with these women and they're grown, they're consenting adults? Why did it take you being pregnant with your second child to have this epiphany?
And these are these discussions. She said
Mhm.
that basically in her experience, she was in a monogamous relationship for like 10 years before she met Nick. And she wanted to be in a non-committal relationship and experience some level of friendship or partnership
Mhm.
beyond just a title. But at the same time, when you hear her talk, it just goes on and word salad. And all I could think is this woman is confused. And they're not going to know until their kids are grown how foolish this decision was. Because here she is now searching for a monogamous relationship with Nick's baby inside of her. And then the other one, the dark skin girl, I follow her and I actually like her, but she actually has a boyfriend.
What?
Yes, if you go to her page, she has an art partner that's always with her that she's with, and she has Nick's baby.
I'm sorry. So her boyfriend, so they have an open relationship themselves, her and this boyfriend that she's always with.
I don't know. I don't think she was with Nick throughout the pregnancy. Nick, she didn't have no baby shower. She wasn't celebrating like the rest of the baby mamas. She just
She
said
wasn't.
she had like a closed event with her family and celebrating the baby coming. But when the baby came, she has now been pictures are all over her page with her boyfriend. It's like a Filipino dude. So I'm like, what is Nick choosing, and why is it's confusing as hell? These women are just
Mhm.
choosing to have his baby.
And my thing is, it wouldn't be a problem if he was someone like if he was wearing condoms and just sleeping with whomever. That's fine. You're protecting yourself and your partner. So I'm just trying to understand what is it that you going into these situations uncocked? I mean, uncovered, and you know the result. The last 10, excuse me, are we on baby 12 or 13? We're on baby 11 or 12.
We're almost in 13 because one's supposed to have the baby. The one who lost her son is pregnant. And then also Della Rosa she's pregnant. She hasn't had her second child yet. Well, her third child. Because she has a set of twins. And then you have Letitia Cole, that's the one that dark skin.
She made number 10. She made number 10.
Yeah.
So
No, she
now
was number 9.
no, if you read the article, she made the 10th, she had the 10th baby.
The 10th baby was born the other day.
Wait, who is 10?
That's the second baby mama who had the
Oh, you
golden
talking about Brittany
and
Bell. I
yeah,
thought Brittany Bell was 11.
No, she's 10.
she's 10.
Lanisha's baby
But
is
we're still
9.
waiting on
Oh,
the two other. Okay, Della Rosa hasn't had her baby. She has a set of twins by him, but she's having
right.
her third baby. And then also the one who lost her son, she's pregnant as well.
I did hear that.
So
You know, but see, they're allowing him. I now see she's proof, right? So I also heard that he told them like they can't talk. They need to shut their mouth. They can't talk bad about him, right? And you are right, Sin. They did say that Brittany Bell's baby was number 10. So but so they can't talk bad about. But she's realizing now the loneliness of it all. And I'm wondering if they find out about these other babies the same way we find out, or does he, like somebody said, a group chat, or is everybody in a group chat and he's like, hey, about to
No,
give birth to another one?
no, because if that were the
I
case,
don't think they talk to each other at all.
if they were in the group chat, those women would have been found a way to like execute Nick because he's just doing too much destruction.
Yeah.
But
And I
they
also
do know,
know
but the
that
thing
he's
is
in an
he doesn't
active
hide it.
and he's also in an active relationship with Jessica White, the model. She actually was pregnant by him, but she had a miscarriage. And I know they just hooked back up and did some music together. And she's back kind of like in his good he's back in her good graces. because she did cut him off for a little bit. So I don't know if she's trying again for another baby. Who knows?
Which one is Jessica White?
Jessica White's the model. She's
a Victoria's Secret model.
yeah,
Wasn't she
she's dark
Victoria's Secret
skin.
model? Yeah, she's real pretty.
She's dark skin.
I don't know, but listen, Tracy said that one Abby De La Rosa was interviewed by another baby mama. It was a sex therapist.
Yeah,
and that sex therapist is married. And that she was pregnant with her second child. Because yes, the person that was interviewing her was definitely pregnant. I think Abby De La Rosa is like, I think she's lonely. I think she you know what, I think that when she got pregnant, this is just thoughts in my head, that when she got pregnant with the second one, I really think that they all are in secret competition with each other to really be the one that Nick stays with. And I do think he plays head games with them, right? So I think when Abby De La Rosa got pregnant the second time, which is going to make her third child, I think that she thought she was winning above the rest of the ladies until she found out how many other babies was coming down the pipe. And so now I think sitting there because like you said, I think it was you said, it was like tossed salad. She was all over the place with the conversation. And when I was listening to her, my thought is that you don't want this life. I never know somebody on purpose that truly wanted to be a single parent. Because at the end of the day, when you have Nick Cannon's baby, you are a single parent. It's just point blank, period. I don't care how much time he calls. I don't care how much time he makes a doctor's appointment or does a photo shoot with you. You're a single parent. And to raise twins by yourself, because you got the two young ones that at the same time needing diapers, needing this, needing that, or whatever the case may be, that's a lot. Listen, I have so much help with my son. I thank God every single day. Okay. So until he was 2, and that's because I told him, no, he has to go to, because these daycares now are not daycares, they're learning centers. So when I was growing up, the first time I stepped foot in a school was kindergarten. But then after, me passing through, they started this thing now pre-K, right? And then now, before pre-K, they got these learning centers. So these kids go into pre-K and kindergarten, knowing how to read, write, this color, that color, whatever. So if you don't send your kid to one of these learning centers, unless you at home teaching them all this, they're going to be behind the other kids because the other kids are in those learning centers learning their whole life. Okay. So when I brought my son to the learning center at 2, he was still drinking from a bottle. He still had on a diaper. And then people told me, what in the world are you doing? What's going on here? They told me the next day, bring a sippy cup. They said, and I said, no, he got the pull-ups. Because, and then listen, pull-ups is a new thing too, right? Because when I was being raised, there was no pull-ups. But you understand what I'm saying. So now they go from diapers to pull-ups, right? He had on the pull-ups. They said, don't bring him in on pull-ups, put some underwear on him. Get him a sippy cup and get that bottle out of here. And he still had his pacifier. I was like, no, but he loves it. Child, they ripped me to shreds, right?
Not my
they told me you have to go to the garbage can with your son and show him that you're throwing away the pacifier and tell him that is it. That learning center helped my whole life. They also taught him, like they said, no, don't worry. He's going to go to the bathroom with the other kids. They said he's going to get in the line. When he sees the other kids getting in line to go to the bathroom, they said he's going to get in the line and go to the bathroom. I promise you, when he came home that day, he went to the bath. Like, they did it. They helped me. So what I'm saying is that you need help. I only had one, and I appreciate every help that I got. And I appreciate, his dad was there. I would never on purpose sign up to be no single parent of 1, 2, or let alone 3. And you better believe if I would have had Nick Cannon twins, I don't care how good what he was doing to me was going down. I would have never opened my leg for him again. I promise you that. I'm not going to be the single parent times 3 because you want to be in these streets acting a fool. I'm good.
And even with that, even I checked his net worth. So as of 2022, he's worth $20 million. So even that, because you have, let's be fair, like you have to take like half of it. He has to take care of his own living expenses and whatnot and travel because he's all over the place working 7 million jobs. If you, even the 12 kids now with the other half is still not enough. So like he's eventually going to get in a position where this is going to be financially costly too, because no one's just going to be like, okay, I'll let you sleep with me without a rubber, but like where's the money bag? Like I'm gonna need to see the money first, or like no, like I'm gonna be taking care of like the rest of those otherwise. So I don't know. I think something mentally might be going on where he doesn't have impulse control. He doesn't know how to like
Listen, when I heard that woman speaking, I said they're all foolish, and those 4 kids are all involved.
Yeah,
because nobody's telling him this is wrong, and listen to her even coming up with this theory of becoming monogamous after sharing this man and having kids by him. And I was like, and you're going to parent this child and raise them. And I was like, these people don't got no sense. And the only one I kind of have a little like, okay, she's getting a little, the one who just had the baby, she wasn't trying to celebrate all that. She didn't want people to know.
Yeah, she did. She wasn't for the foolery, right? But she's older too.
Yeah,
she's older too. She wasn't for the foolery. She was just like, you know, when I'm gonna have this baby.
Doing all that deep because she got a boyfriend. When you go on her page.
Well, I did click the follow, but I guess I haven't been watching. But wait, Tracy said they got me all the way together. My daughter was in daycare since 6 weeks. Yes, her daycare cost me $400 a week in the 90s. My daughter was speaking 2 languages and using the bathroom on her own computer at night. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, these learning centers will have you. If you don't put your kid in one, your kid gonna be behind. No, them learning centers, because they call them learning centers now, and they have a whole program even for the babies. Okay, talking about coming home with homework. They got a color in their circle and all that. Get out of here. But yeah, but I appreciated that. I appreciate, my son's father family. They all did to this very day. My son is 17, so because that little brat doesn't want to take the bus to school and he barely takes the bus home, but his grandfather, and this is his father's father, he will pick him up almost every day after school, take him to get his lunch, and then drop him off at home. You need the people. You need
a
their
village.
family. You need their family. So what is, they don't have, so imagine, and that Abby De La Rosa too, she posted when Nick Cannon bought her a house and she was so excited, Daddy bought us a house. That's raggedy. So when you had those twins, he didn't put you on the house at that point. And the whole house, I mean, like, they probably just moved in, but the whole house was empty. I also don't think Nick Cannon is giving up money like that.
I was gonna ask
I don't.
question. Are they even putting him on child support?
No,
and if
they're
they
not.
are putting him on child support, do they all get the same equal amount? Does some get?
They're not putting them on child support because they still laying with this man.
Oh my God!
They still want to be with him.
So they're not getting the bag then. So they really not getting the bag. They're just getting babies.
Basically.
Wow.
I mean, they all got jobs. They can take care of themselves, but the reality of the situation is just the parenting. I'm not saying they're not good mothers, but I'm like, he's not there. He can't be there.
He can't be there. Tugger, wait, hold on 1 second, guys. Tugger. Yeah, you're right. That's what they said. They ain't got time for them diapers. And then you know what too, with the daycares, you pay less money if they're out of diapers. You pay less money. So it's like 100, it's just so many things. Do these ladies or mothers work?
They do.
They do.
My issue is this. I'd see if it was a situation where they all got along and they all on the same accord. It's about these kids. None of them are all about the kids. They're all about themselves and having an individual relationship with just them. If it was another thing, if they were like, I have not seen one of them go shopping together or get to know. I've seen baby mamas get along more than they do. You know what I'm saying?
That's because they're all still fighting to still be with him, right? And if they wasn't, listen, if they wasn't, they wouldn't be popping up pregnant again, right?
Anila pregnant again?
Huh?
No, Miss Gomez returns to Anila in the next episode.
I know, but they said she might be due any day now. Anila?
She's pregnant.
That's what I know. Audra is having a baby soon.
Yeah, or just
maybe she meant Audra.
Yeah.
No, maybe you meant Audra. Maybe Audra, right? Yeah, I don't think Anila is pregnant. But listen, guys, I had fun with y'all on this Friday night. Okay. This is trending topics. I'm gonna squeeze it in every now and then when I can. Me and Smoke, we was really thinking about doing the Dama thing, like Sherelle did today. You know, it's just so traumatizing. It's such a touchy
Hard,
topic.
hard to get
Yeah.
through. It's
I
hard to
watched
get
it.
through. It's hard to
It's
get
hard to get through, but we may still do it, Smoke. We may still do it because there's still a lot more to talk about. And
through.
someone on Sherelle's show today made a really good point. You know, it's easy to point the finger at the parents, but you can have two children in the same household and one to turn out just as crazy as a bed bug and the other one to be fine.
Right.
No,
So,
I know there's
you
one.
know, go ahead.
No, I said I know there's one in my house.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Listen,
everyone
Sid,
responds
don't
differently.
be pulling a Tracy on us right now.
My little
Okay?
sister is. My little sister
Wait,
is a
Tucker said,
menace.
please don't do it. Don't do that topic.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
just
it's
too
heavy.
dark.
I ain't gonna lie. After watching that, I couldn't sleep for a couple of nights. I was
Let me tell you, I sleep well every night. I promise you. Episodes 1 through 4 were the heaviest for me.
Really?
Yeah, like maybe 1 through 4 up to 5 was the heaviest for me. And I literally had a nightmare one of those nights, and I promise you I never do. Now, to me, what I did, you know, if there was anything redeeming about the series was I liked the way that with the deaf guy, like they
Mhm.
made us get to know him. It
Mhm.
wasn't just another one of his, you know, victims, so to speak.
Mhm.
We got to know him because they took us all the way back to
His
when how he ended up becoming deaf, right? And that gentamicin, like that particular antibiotic, one of the side effects is you can lose your hearing. So it just kind of it took me back to it humanized him, and it
Mhm.
was so sad because he really actually loved Jeffrey Dahmer, but it told you how Jeffrey Dahmer couldn't accept love. His whole thing was he didn't like people leaving him.
Control.
Um, and once he thought you was gonna leave him or to make you not leave him, he took your life. And so that's why I want to say it was the hitchhiker, at least the way they explained it in the series. He
Mhm.
spread his body, his bones or whatever throughout the whole property, because in his mind, that was his way of this guy was still with him.
Mhm. And
He's definitely a sick individual.
yeah, and not only that, that episode, the Tony Hughes episode, Janet Mock was one of the co-writers. I was like, of course, it makes sense that that we fell for this character because a black woman was able to really know the intricacies and how a single mother would raise her kids and the connection that they have with their son. So I was just like, that was a well done episode. And not only that, props to Niecy Nash playing that neighbor, Glenda Cleveland.
How
Can
about
you imagine like being next door to someone who did what he did and hearing and smelling the things she had to smell? I was like, oh, that's too much.
Yeah.
that
Niecy
was
Nash is
fictional,
an
though. They
amazing,
said that.
amazing actress, but she even said, because well, you was with me, Smoke, right?
Yeah.
When she said that doing that movie took a lot out of her, and thank God for her wife.
Yeah.
You know, that she came home to her every night, and that was like her safe place and her soft spot. Best how you said, do I believe that Shaq is a serial cheater? He said it himself. He
How
said
if he's not with
he
nobody?
yeah, he said that, you know, he messed up his relationship with his wife and his family with Shawnee. And I think he's running his mouth now because he wanted Shawnee back. But she happy now. She good.
Married a
Eh,
pastor now.
Johnny got a good
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
What?
What you say?
She married a pastor now.
Yeah, she
She
got a good
married a
dude.
pastor now.
I just hope she don't corrupt him because you know how she is.
And thank you for the super sticker. Yeah, it to me it was kind of ironic of her marrying a pastor, but you know, hey, they look happy together. Oh, you said please, Emmanuel said, please don't, Diva. I'm having trouble sleeping also from watching just one episode. Yeah, when you get past and someone had told me this, and that's another reason why I went ahead and said, let me get through it. When you get to like episode 5, it changes a little bit because like I said, they tell us about the guy and they give us his whole story and they show us how he actually really loved Jeffrey Dahmer, but Jeffrey Dahmer just wasn't capable of being loved. And then I went because I didn't remember from the story from when it happened. I didn't remember that that someone took his life in prison, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh,
Yeah, but I read about the guy who actually took his life. And they said truthfully, he did, like the way they played it out in the series, he took Jeffrey Dahmer's life and another guy's life too.
Right.
And he had his reasons as to why he did it. I didn't have a problem with the movie. Thank God. I'm on episode 7. Yeah, Tony, you know what? I think I love true stories, to be honest with you. But I think what got me, and I watched other documentaries or reenactments of, people who actually took other people's lives. But for the most part, it was always like they put the body somewhere or they left the body somewhere. But to know that this man was actually like mutilating the bodies and then eating them and then saving parts of them here and there, I just felt like, oh my God, like, I don't know, that I think that part took a lot out of me. And it really bothered me, the first one with the kid, because I'm like, this kid could have still been here. Had those cops just,
listened.
Not being so homophobic.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you gotta
Yep.
realize, the series wasn't just like a regular true crime series. It was created by Ryan Murphy. And Ryan Murphy, he is skilled at horror films, documentaries, and things like that. So the way everything was filmed, the pacing of it, it gave you that intense feeling that you were there in the moment. So it's not like a regular documentary you're watching the true crimes or anything like that. It was like it puts you in the space of being with those people.
That's exactly
I think that's what it is. But who was Ryan Murphy? Like, what else did he do?
American Horror Stories. He did, I think, he did Pose and some other things. Pose. So it's just the way he directed.
He worked with Nene.
He actually did the O.J. Simpson.
That was a good one.
And then also the O.J. Simpson miniseries with Van. I forgot his name, but Angela Bassett's husband.
Cuba Gooding.
Cuba Gooding Jr. Van.
Oh, okay.
That miniseries. He also did the Versace miniseries as well.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I remember how scared I was around that time. I can't watch it. It was too much. Every time I watched the news, it was just so gruesome. Every time, just so gruesome. I just can't. I watched episode 1 and I was done.
Yeah,
it's dark, but I must say it is. I'm glad I finished it because it kind of gave me a whole picture. Because the first episode is dark. It's kind of like ew, and then the more you're watching it, I don't empathize with him at all. I still think he's sick. I empathize with the victims more so than him. Like the people, those are the people I'm like really connected to. But Jeffrey, like his father, I feel bad for his father. I do not feel bad for just him in general. I think he's an awful, evil person who should have gotten help. Because at the end of the day, he knew something.
You feel bad for the daddy, Amy Dre?
The father, yes, I felt bad for the father because the father was in denial. Most of the time, he would not accept this. And then at some point, he tried to get his son some help in his own way by writing that letter to the jail. But at the end of the day, he had to stick with him because he knew his son had no one else to help him. But he wouldn't tolerate him.
Also, he was helping his son dissect dead animals as a kid.
Yeah, but you know what though? I think that piece of it, everybody focus on that piece of it, right? But I think that piece of it, again, no one is given a book on how to raise children, right? And I think someone said it best on Sherelle's show. I don't remember I think it was the young lady that was saying it, right? Like, everybody has a degree of some type of vice, I'm gonna call it, right? And they medicate their vice and they handle their vice in different ways. Like she said, maybe some people is alcohol, maybe some people is this, maybe some people is that. There's a lot of people out there that maybe they're not mutilating people's bodies, but they're molesting young kids, they're molesting family members. So, and there's families that ignore that. So I think that unfortunately with the dad, his back was up against the wall. He didn't know what to do. But from the way they put it in the series, he was trying for the best that he knew. Like, right. So even with the mom when she was pregnant, he was like, they had a toxic relationship. But he did say, listen, I don't think you should be taking all these pills. I'm concerned about the baby. So a long time ago, it's like, as we evolve, medicine gets better, and they're like, okay, because even now they said, oh, if you drink one glass of wine every now and then when you're pregnant, it's not a big deal.
Mhm.
But again, do we know if it's not a big deal until something happens to somebody and maybe
Right.
they trace it back to that one glass of wine? We're not going to know it's a big deal. So they gave this mother, it's not like she was in the street buying this
She was on
food
high.
drugs.
She was buying
It
on
was
high.
prescriptions.
Right. While she
It
was
was
pregnant with him. So
while
like that.
she's pregnant.
So
And,
that was.
and the husband came to the doctor and told the doctor, and the doctor's like, no, she's good. Like,
No.
so it's a lot of dynamics with that. And I think in terms of the grandmother, first of all, this woman the dad should have never brought him to the grandmother's house. That's number one. And number
Mhm.
two, you do remember that the grandmother said, but the grandmother was dealing with his sexuality, right? Because the grandmother was like, we could take you to church and pretty much they could fix you. So the grandmother was in denial. A lot of these people that it seems like that was in this situation, their denial focused on one, they couldn't deal with the fact that this man was, gay. So that blocked everything. It was like that trumped everything. And
Right.
that made them lose everything else that made common sense because they didn't want to deal with the fact that this man was gay. And it's like, goodness, like, are people that darn homophobic that
Yeah.
you got a kid that's bleeding out the head, but because he's a boy and he's naked and another man is coming saying, this is my boyfriend, you're going to ignore the fact that he's bleeding and that
Mm-hmm.
he can't even stand up?
Yeah.
Right.
Like that
Like,
was jacked up. Like literally, he could have got caught right there, and that would have been the end of everything that he could have done to those who came after that. Conrad, Laotian boy, that was basically the brother of the someone that he had touched before
Yeah.
and got him his status, and it's like, ugh.
did he go to jail for that brother, the one that
Yep.
lived? So
Yep.
that's what I'm saying. Like, how was this man? Like, it's just crazy to me. But like you said, look at the judge was like, I don't want to ruin your life. Well, you didn't ruin his life, but you ruined 17 others
Yep.
that we know of. Now, granted, Jeffrey said he told us the truth, and okay, we're gonna go with that. And then the fact that he kept all of their IDs. And like I said, the part that really broke my heart is when they showed the pictures of the 17 people, at the end of the movie. I was just like, this is too much. It's a lot. But I have seen plenty of movies like that before. Like in Jersey, there's this story because Lifetime played a lot of true stories.
Back in the day, sure did.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And they were all brutal and gory, right? Benita, I'm gonna bring you up. I don't know if you're ready, and I'm about to close out in a little bit. So there was this in Jersey, right? Benita, I'm gonna bring you up. I don't know if you're ready. Okay. You gotta cut off the background for me, Benita. Okay, so there was a guy, and if I can't remember his name at this particular moment, but anyway, he was a prominent salesperson, and he ended up like losing his job, and they lived in Westfield, New Jersey, I want to say it was, which is a very prestigious part of New Jersey, right? They lived in a mansion. He was a salesperson, but something went where he ended up losing like his job and the money, whatever. So they said by the time he ended up killing his whole family. I want to say it must have been his wife, mother. I don't know if he killed his own mother, but he killed the whole family in the mansion, right? He claimed he left letters, right? He claimed he was going to kill himself too, but he did not. Okay. So he killed his entire family, left them in the house. They didn't find the family for like weeks. Okay. He ran off. He lived a whole nother life, got remarried. This man must have eluded the the whole law and everything for over 25 years or something like that. And then finally, eventually, are you remembering this story? I can't remember his name, but I know it was a case in New Jersey. So, I mean, I've seen stories reenacted like this over and over, especially if you ever watch Lifetime. But again, I think like everybody is saying, the emotions in this Jeffrey Dahmer one and the way you feel like you're right there. And I was like saying to myself, like, oh my God, please don't go home with this man. And even with the guy that was deaf, I was like, oh my God. Like when I knew he was going to actually kill him because he didn't want him to leave,
Mhm.
it was just too much. It was too much. But Renita, you're in the building. What do you want to add to the conversation?
Like I'm not from this Milwaukee, but I lived in Milwaukee during that time.
Okay.
And I remember a lot of stuff y'all saying, a lot of it isn't true. Like his father killed people too.
Oh no.
His father was doing that and he trained Jeffrey to do that. See, he's trained Jeffrey since he was like 4 when he was putting all them little dead animals under there. He was all involved in doing that with his son. He groomed his son. The mama, she was messed up in the head because she knew what the father was doing
Mm.
and she couldn't deal with it. And then she started saying what he was doing with the son. So she really couldn't deal with it. That's why she left that boy. She left that boy. He wasn't grown. He was a kid. She left him in that house and took her kids and bounced and changed her name, changed her kids' name, and they didn't want to have nothing to do with none of them. They went once they talked to the police here in Milwaukee, they left and never came back.
Wow.
Never came back. They didn't have nothing to do with the father or the son. And they had really left long before that because she left him. She was seeking a divorce from him. When she left that man, she left. She left that boy in that house and never came back because he
Wow.
was messed up due to the father. But
That makes a lot of sense.
Jeffrey didn't just kill. People think Jeffrey only killed gay men. Jeffrey was killing kids. Jeffrey was killing people that was not gay. The rules that he would use is sometime in the neighborhood. My aunt stayed right around the corner. And he would say things like, I need help carrying my groceries, act like he was an invalid. And they would help him and he would offer some soda, pop or whatever. And when they get it, it was spiked and he would kill them. He killed one man, he wasn't gay, and that man beat the crap out of him because he didn't have enough drugs to put him under. And he knew
Mm.
that was a big guy. And if you watch the real trial, you'll see where they said that man beat his ass and he got the uppercut on the man. Somehow, I guess he hit him or something, and the man, stumbled and he stabbed him or whatever. But that man gave him a go for his money. Now, as far as the neighbor, I remember it being the neighbor across the hall. It wasn't the neighbor next door. It was the neighbor across the hall that kept calling and calling and calling about the smell. I had experience with Jeffrey. It was a friend of mine at work that I work with. He stayed underneath Jeffrey's apartment and he had a birthday party and he invited everybody from work to the party. Some people, I guess, came to the door and smelled the smell and just left, never went upstairs. My dumb butt, I came with my uncle, my aunt, and my cousins, and my uncle said, "Oh, this smell like dead people." He was like, "I don't want to go in here." And he wouldn't let my aunt go in, and then my cousins didn't go in. But since I worked with them, I went upstairs. I went upstairs, and it got stronger and stronger as you went up. And we got into his apartment, into my friend's apartment. And I'm like, how you stay here and it smell like this? This thing. I'm allergic to weed, but have some weed. And Eric said they had everything going. Jeffrey actually came to the apartment knocking on the door with the manager saying that he was making too much noise. But basically, what Jeffrey wanted to do was look at one of the guys at the party that was gay. Because I guess he asked the guy in the elevator, would he come upstairs and have a drink with him? And he said no. So he knew where he was and he knocked on the door and he was staring. And we kept saying, who are you looking at? Who that white boy looking at? And then his mom was with him and he said, I think he looking at my son. And we looked and started laughing, not knowing that this is a killer. And girl,
Wow.
we were at work, and that's when it broke. We had the news on at work, and it broke that Jeffrey, all this about Jeffrey Dahmer, and we was like, hold up. don't you live there? And he was like, damn, I live right below him. And we were like, man, we were like outside, and he was looking out the window at us. And I was like, but he wasn't looking at us, he was looking at old boy. I said,
Oh
that's who he was
my God.
looking at. And I mean, Jeffrey, he was doing stuff. He killed people in Illinois, and he didn't want to say he killed them in Illinois. He said he killed them in Wisconsin because they had death penalty in Illinois.
Oh,
Oh, he was
His
out
it
there
makes
father
sense.
showing up.
told him to say that, if you get caught, claim crazy. He didn't eat none of them bodies. He was putting body parts in refrigerators because he wanted the smell. He had body parts in refrigerators, freezers, barrels, under his bed, under the couch, in the closet, in the fish tank.
Oh my
It
God.
had nothing to do with him eating them bodies. His daddy said, if you claim crazy, they're going to lock you up for a few years in the crazy home and let you out. And Jeffrey couldn't get away with it. They knew that he wasn't crazy. That he was
Mm,
just saying that he killed people. I don't know if y'all remember. Remember John Wash,
yes.
that
Mm.
man that had that show?
I saw somebody
Yeah.
said that
Jeffrey
he took
Dahmer
his
killed his
son life.
son. Huh? They
Yeah,
traced it back to Jeffrey Dahmer.
but he was from New York. So how did he get
He was in the military. He was going to different places, and he actually went down there. And when he went down there, they traced it back. I watched a show, some documentary where they literally traced it back, and Jeffrey was there in that area
area?
when that boy came up missing. And they somehow they pinged it to him, and they said Jeffrey Dahmer most likely took this child. But Jeffrey killed people in California. He killed people in Miami. They
So
know he
you saying
killed
it
more
you saying
people
it's more
than.
than you saying it was more than
That's
17.
probably the real reason why they kicked him out the
Yeah,
military.
because they couldn't. Jeffrey was throwing bodies in the dumpster, and they were throwing it in the where they take all the garbage to, and it's like a mountain of garbage they had to sift through. Jeffrey got rid of a lot of those bodies. He got rid of those bodies. It wasn't Hershey he worked at. He worked at Ambrosia, and at
Mm,
Ambrosia, that chocolate factory, he was grinding up bones and he was throwing flesh into that chocolate.
Oh
Girl,
my
yes, yes. And people were eating that all over the world. I was eating that. I was
oh
like, this,
my
this
God.
man had bodies in his locker at work.
Mm-mm.
They could have been caught Jeffrey. But them two
Wow.
guys that took that little boy, that 14-year-old, he had actually raped and took naked pictures of his little brother. So he knew who Jeffrey was before he went up the stairs. I don't know what he
The
called himself
the
trying to
other
do.
kid, the one that
The other
lost his
kid that
life.
got killed.
God.
Right, the 14-year-old. When he got killed, he should have never went up there because he knew who Jeffrey was. I don't
Mm.
know what he was trying to do. You 14, he a grown man. What you trying to do? But he gets up there and he get drugged. He
Mm.
gets out, and because the cops are homophobic, you know what I'm saying? They didn't even want Jeffrey to touch them, go in the house, talking about they got to go wash their bodies. They was real homophobic, and they didn't want to deal with it. And they turned that boy back over to him, and he killed them. But
Yeah.
they should them ladies should have hold that child. Cause that boy wasn't as big as he was in that movie either. He was a little bitty kid. But
Well,
we
it
was
looked like
like,
it appeared that he was in that picture that they showed at the end.
Mm.
The picture they showed at the end, he looked like a baby.
a little bitty kid, and them cops knew this wasn't no 19-year-old or nobody that could be with a grown man. They just didn't want to deal with gay men. Period.
Mm. Mm.
They was homophobic, and the family got an undisclosed amount of money because of that child's death.
I can
This
believe that.
city, this city paid for that. They paid through the nose for that because he not only sued the city, he sued the men because you turned my child back over. I think he was Indian or something. I think he was
Yeah.
Indian. He didn't just kill black people; he killed white people too. But he killed a lot of black people. He did
Yeah.
one guy he killed. He drilled in his head. He performed a lobotomy. Remember in the movie where he asked his daddy how to do a lobotomy? His
Mm-hmm.
daddy taught him how to do it. And he tried it on that guy and he drilled in his head. And when he drilled in his head, the guy lived for a while. The guy lived for a long time. And he was
Really?
like a zombie. And Jeffrey was content with that until the guy died. Then he went back on his bench. But Jeffrey not only lived in that building, he stayed within that community, probably 3 other places, and he killed in all those houses. But
Wow.
that was the house he got caught in. The house around on like 25th, I believe. And my aunt stayed like on 25th and Wells. And it was closer to the downtown area. It's, it's close to downtown, close to Marquette University, one of the best universities out here. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
right in the thick of that neighborhood. He was picking up all kind of. He would just pretend like things was wrong with him, get people to help him. They get upstairs, he kill them. Um, he was picking
So
up
they
gay
really tore
people.
the building though down, right?
The building is gone. The
And
building
so
is
they
gone.
never, because I looked at, so they never built a park there or a memorial
No,
there.
they never
No,
did.
last I drove through there, it was a lot. It's a lot. When I saw it, it was a vacant lot. They had to tear that building down. That
Yeah.
building reeked of dead. Girl, you get to the door and it was just bad. And the guy, I'm gonna tell you something too. The manager in the building, he was getting complaints and complaints from everybody. This was a huge apartment building.
He was a
So he's
sloppy
getting
boy.
all these complaints that this awful smell, right? They said they even called the owners and they said go door to door and find out if somebody died in their apartment. You know what I'm saying? Did they go out of town for extended visit and leave meat out? Whatever it is, find this odor. They knew where it was coming from. They knew what Jeffrey was doing. The Jamaican, it wasn't Jamaican, African guys. They knew where the smell was coming from. They knew what was going on. And they basically just,
So
didn't do nothing about
so
it.
there's many people to blame for this tragedy.
It is. And like I said, his wife, the mother, knew about the husband, which in return he taught the son. The grandmama knew because she actually, when Jeffrey left to go to work or something, she went in the room and found dead bodies in the bed.
You
And
know what? She had to
she
have known.
found dead bodies. And
So
she knew about it.
you saying did you see the series?
She called, I'm only on like 1, 2. I
She
just
Okay.
started
had to have
watching.
known
What,
because
so
there's no
did
way
you
he could
see
have
when
hid them
he had
bodies up
the
in the house.
mannequin? Did you see when he had the mannequin in the bed? Do you think she really
I
saw
ain't
a
got
body and
I
not
ain't
the
got there. I
mannequin?
ain't got there yet, but I know
Oh,
when this all broke, she saw dead bodies in the bed. She told Jeffrey, Daddy, come and get him out of my house. My neighbors are complaining about the odor. And I saw dead bodies in the bed. She wanted that boy out of there. I believe he was going to try to kill the grandma because he kept telling that from what he was saying in like an interview, he kept telling her not to go in his room. And he didn't care. He was real kind of cold hearted. He was real cold hearted. The father, he's putting on this facade like, oh, I didn't know. Yeah, you did.
You had to know.
You know. And not only that, when Jeffrey got killed, let me tell you how he got killed, girl. How he
well,
got
that I
killed.
read.
How he got killed it was this one white guy and his wife was here at TGF Friday over by Northridge. It's right across the street from Northridge in that same parking lot structure. And he, before they went to that restaurant that week, had went to the mall, Northridge, and approached little black boys and asked them, I'll give you $50 to $100 for your hat. And he got these baseball caps, right? And then they went to him and his wife went out to dinner. They ate dinner, came out to the parking lot. He killed her. He threw the hats out on the ground, told the cops, oh, I got stabbed and hit and they got my wife, this, that, and the other. It was some little black boys. And I remember I kept my 2 sons in the house because they were snatching black boys off the street, locking them up. Talking
Terrible.
about, did you kill this lady? I mean, for a week, they was snatching them. And then all of a sudden, somebody came and told what they saw. And they say they zoomed in on him and found out he killed his wife.
Mm.
So when he go to jail for killing his wife, the mother of the girl was stupid rich. Stupid rich. She paid some guards to find somebody in jail that had nothing to lose doing life to kill him.
Mm.
They
Girl,
gave
you
that
got the
man,
story. You got the story. Oh my gosh.
yeah, girl, I live here. She paid them the money to get to the boy's family because he was never ever getting out of jail. The one that was gonna kill him. Then we not talking about Jeffrey.
No,
We
no, no.
talking about the
I
man
looked
who
it
killed
up.
his
I know.
wife.
Yeah, no,
She
I looked
paid
it up.
to have that man killed. And the man, he was in jail for life. He killed the man. They were mopping, I think, a kitchen or something out, and
Mm-hmm.
he killed the man. And Jeffrey walked in. When Jeffrey walked in, the guards got against the door, and he said, "Damn, I wanted your ass. You bogus." And he killed Jeffrey with that mop stick.
Oh Lord.
Mm.
They say Jeffrey was all over that door, girl, trying to get up out of there. And Jeffrey couldn't get up out of there. They wouldn't let him out. He was screaming. That man, that black guy killed him. He killed both of them. What you gonna do? You gonna tax some more time on him? We ain't got death penalty.
Mm.
All you can do is just leave him in jail where he already wasn't never coming back home anyway.
Right.
You know? So that's how he died. He died of a horrific death. I heard it was bad. I heard it was bad. That man really got him. Because he said that he didn't like the fact that he tried to portray all his victims as gay. That he literally killed men that was not gay, that had family, was taking care of their wife and kids and this, that, and the other. He killed a lot of kids because he was talking in jail.
Yeah,
He
oh
killed a lot
yeah.
of kids. He killed a lot of kids because he was trying to make people scared of him because he was scared. He wanted to go to the mental institution, and when they didn't put him there, he had to do something not to get beat. So he was going around trying to make himself look like he was more than what he was. And they said he was in there talking about how he ate people, this, that, and the third. And it wasn't working. It wasn't working. He had a lot of worse people in there than him. And they weren't thinking about him. He was really scared to be in prison. But his daddy, they couldn't prove it. But his daddy was just as bad as Jeffrey. He actually, my girlfriend said that in part of the movie, the father was telling him to leave. I think he was in part one too, but he was trying to get that boy to leave Wisconsin because it was drawing too much attention. He doing his thing and you doing your thing. That's too much. And we do have a lot of serial killers here. Ed Gein
Hmm.
come from here. You remember Ed Gein?
No.
Ed Gein was the one that was in Silence of the Lambs. The picture was basically loosely on him. Him
What?
sewing up, he killed women and sew their skin up and make a bodysuit.
Oh, I heard about that.
Oh, Buffalo Bill.
Ed Gein, look him up. Ed Gein was a son of, and he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He had mommy issues. But Ed Gein, it's a lot. Like when I moved here at 88, I was like, what's going on? Why these people like to, it wasn't Jeffrey. It was like, why these people like to kill people and eat them and bury them alive and all of this? It was like in the white neighborhood. I was scared. I was like, I want to go. I want to stay here. And mom was like, girl, this our new home. I was like, girl, these people crazy here. They don't
Oh
want to
my
shoot you.
God.
They chopping people up. And they just do too
So,
much. They do
so
the
what you're
most.
really saying is that it's more than a 17, but they didn't want to freak the world out, and they're not telling us the
They
true
couldn't
number.
they
Let's
couldn't
do
prove
it.
it because he got rid of so many of the bodies at Ambrosia. He got rid of them at the dump where they dumped the garbage. He got rid of those bodies, and they couldn't prove it. They can only prove what was in that apartment, under the couches, behind the door. You know what I'm saying? In the refrigerator, in the barrels, laying on the floor. He had boxes of skeletons. They can only prove what they had in that, but the dumpster was right below his window, and all he had to do was just drop them in a
Mm,
bag or something and just drop it out the window.
mm,
And he was slick because he was putting acid, he had acid in his house. So he would try to take the skin off and then just drop bones. Dogs had ran off with half of it. Dogs was in them garbage cans. They said that on the news. Animals were running off with body parts
Mm,
and eating them. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
they can only prove what they had in that apartment. If they had a, if they had a, went back to the other apartments, it probably was too late. But he had killed people in those apartments. You know, they just couldn't prove it. But they did find body parts at Ambrosia in the locker. They spoke on that. They said when they went to his locker, he had something in that locker, some body parts.
mm,
And then they said that he told them he was dumping the flesh and the bone grinded up in the batter. And the big batter, and they just stirred it up and made mothballs and all that mess out of it. I mean, girl, it was a
mm,
mess. It was scary because this man was walking around in our community. My sons knew who this guy was.
mm.
They seen him before. But I always tell my son, I'd be like, don't talk to men because they'll get you in the booty. And I just scared my kids. I don't care. I scared them. Don't help them. If they ask you to help them, say no. Because they're gonna snatch you and they're gonna do this to you. You gotta tell your kids the scariest, realistic stuff so that they didn't come up hurt. Because my kid and his cousins was right around the corner. And I always said, I prayed to God, I said, thank you, because they would have asked, if he would have asked them, they would have tried to make a couple dollars,
That's what
carrying
I heard he
groceries.
was doing. They
So,
said a lot
so
of the
I
people
guess
were
you know what though,
working.
maintenance. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Who was talking?
That was me. I mean, Jay. I would say that's what I heard that he was doing. He was tricking people and offering them money for stuff. Like the one who got away, and he got in trouble for. I forgot the guy's name, but he said he wasn't gay, and he said that Jeffrey offered him some money, like $100 for something, and that's
The
what
To
he.
one
take
that
pictures.
at the end he got offered $100 for pictures. He didn't get. He wasn't. He was not gay. If you go on YouTube, he has. They have his court trial where he testified,
Yeah,
and they
that's what
asked.
he said. He offered him money. So I
Yeah,
think, like you're saying, he didn't get everybody based off of their interest in him. He was tricking people
he
based
was
off
tricking people.
what they
You
want.
people, he'd be walking down the street like he handicapped. They said in the neighborhood. They said my kid even said it. He said, "My that man be acting like he can't walk." And he's struggling with groceries, and people, will offer to help him. Grown men. That one grown man, he was not gay. Jeffrey didn't have enough to powder to give him. And when he did give him, the man realized that he was dizzy. He beat the crap out of Jeffrey Dahmer, but he ended up getting killed. But he was a
Mm-hmm.
big guy, and Jeffrey was scared. Jeffrey was scared when he did him. He was like, if this guy wake up, he had to hurry up and chop him up because he was like, if he wake up, he gonna kill me.
You know what's interesting to me though is that I mean I know we had the one neighbor that we know of that was saying anything, but it had to be a lot of screaming. It had to be just more. It just
They did. The neighbor across the hall? I don't remember them saying no neighbor next door that shared a wall. I remember them saying the neighbor across the hall was complaining about the screaming and people saying help. And she calling, but nobody's doing nothing about it because down here, girl, if you black and you go out and commit a crime, they gonna come and lock you up, throw you under the jail.
Mm,
Same thing for a white man, and he's gonna get a slap on the wrist.
mm,
And back then they was real homophobic. So that's why he got away with a lot of it too, because they didn't want to deal with the gay community.
Yeah, which is
So
sad. So wait a minute. Somebody, I wanted to ask you a question. Did you hear that he asked them to take his life when he went to jail? Jeffrey Dahmer.
when he went to jail, they said that he wanted them to kill him, but then he chickened out. He
Mm.
chickened out because there was a lot of takers on that, and he chickened out. They said that he wanted to go to solitary. He got down there in that prison, and he was trying to get in solitary, and they wouldn't let him go to solitary. That's how he got killed. He couldn't go to
Yeah.
solitary. But he
Wow.
didn't. He wanted to go to mental institution so that he can come back to the street. They had him for 5 years or whatever, and then he been back on the street. But this ain't the only city. But I guess the other cities didn't wanna didn't want to investigate, but they said that he killed. He told the police because the streets was talking because the police was telling their family, and their
Mm.
families was talking in these streets, and they were saying that he killed people like in Cali, Miami. It just struck me odd that they didn't get him in Miami though. I was like, man, they should have got him down there. But they were saying that he killed a lot more people than they gave him credit for, and they knew that the father had something to do
Maybe
with it.
that's why the military put him out because he was
They
killing.
did because he raping people, and they said he killed somebody in the military and got caught with the body.
Mm.
Yep,
And
he
so the
said that in
military
court.
didn't
He
do
said that
anything
in court,
either.
huh?
And the military didn't do anything
They
either.
gave him a dishonorable discharge.
That's it.
They got him out of there. They didn't want to deal with it. They
That's
got Jeffrey up
murder.
out of there.
So
Like,
wait, I want to acknowledge this. Hold on one second. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Joni Hood. My children are related to. Is her name Kanika Jenkins? And from the way they spun her story, remind me of which one she was.
I remember that
Is
name.
it
I,
the one that testified?
I thought that was the girl who went into the freezer and died.
Kanika Jenkins, yeah, that's the girl. That's who
Maybe
I'm
they
thinking
said
in
it in
Chicago.
stories
In
or
Chicago, yeah. Kanika Jenkins wasn't that the girl that went in the freezer? They put her body in the freezer and she died.
yeah.
Wait, who?
Yeah,
I'm remembering a little bit, but who did that?
She
down
said
in
basically how they spin the story. They spin stories all the time.
yeah. Kanika Jenkins was a little girl. She was a young little girl that went to a hotel party
Yeah.
down there in
I remember.
Rosewood in
I remember.
Rosemount, Illinois. I'm from Illinois, and she went to a party down in Rosemount, Illinois, a hotel that is known for people disappearing. And
Mm.
Mm.
somehow this little girl disappeared. They looked for her, and they found her in the deep freezer, and she absolutely looked like she had been raped and killed. But they tried to
I
say she
do remember
walked
that
herself into
story.
that deep freezer, and
Yeah,
that's
you can't lock yourself in there. So Joni Hood, you know what? My condolences. That's a horrible story. Yeah, she's saying they found her in the freezer.
mhm.
Um, Tugga is asking, like, do you think they should take this series down? That's what a lot of people are really upset that this was even made.
Me personally, I'm gonna be honest. I think you should show this series to your kids because
mm-hmm.
we got a lot of boogermans out here in the streets. And
Agree.
our kids are really living in fantasy world now. They seem to think they ain't scared of nothing and nothing. And
Mm-hmm.
they need to know that there's people out here that will take your life. There's people out here that will make you think they're good people and they're not good people. Everybody's not good out in these streets. Don't be going carrying groceries and doing this. If I'm not around, don't do it. If I'm not there with you, don't do it. You know, our kids need to know these things out here in these streets. And if you take it down, then they're not going to know what's happening in these streets. Because this man went around acting like was nothing wrong with him and people trusted him. So if you want to get a message across, show it to your people. Show it to these kids. Because
I
I'm
took
not
it as there was an educational piece in it too. I mean, if you know what I mean, I
make
really
it
did,
educational.
and very educational too, just to see how all the way around, now that you're speaking to me, that so many people had the opportunity for this thing not to be as tragic and as huge as it was, but
Yeah.
nobody stepped in and stopped it.
Mm.
That's even sadder to me, is that
He
to
had
know that.
so many opportunities to be locked up. He
Yeah,
was a registered sex offender. That man was a registered sex offender. He,
yeah,
you know, and he should have been monitored. You got bracelets on other people, but you don't have no bracelet on him. And then
yeah,
somebody said he lived in a real rich community. No, he did not. West Allis is 5, 10 minutes up the street, girl. That little but country bucket little it ain't even a suburb. It's an extension of Milwaukee, and then you bounce out of West Allis, you back in Milwaukee. It's
Mm. Mm-mm.
girl, and then where his parents live, it wasn't no rich community. It's a lot more richer communities in Wisconsin than that where his parents live. You
Mm.
know, his
Mm-mm.
parents, his daddy, I think was a scientist though.
Yeah,
I
he's a
think he was a
chemist.
scientist and he made money. That's how he knew how to do that stuff.
yeah. That part I did get. Listen, you gave so much
And that
information and
was a
knowledge.
man.
That
I
movie is
really,
really tricking people, girl. They somebody said that one of the reporters said that they lied and exaggerating in that movie, and it's true. Because if you watch the people in court, like the different the videos they have on YouTube, the people telling you what happened to like that boy, he told you what happened to him. He was not gay. They got that boy at the end that turned that when he ran out of there and got the police and brought him back as though he's gay. He was not gay.
No.
He was not gay. Everybody Dahmer came in contact with was not gay.
Mhm.
And
He
he
just
said
out
he had
here.
no indication that Dahmer was gay.
So he was just out here trying to kill people. He got to a point where it became a sport for him. It
He didn't
wasn't
care.
Yeah.
because he didn't want to
He
be by
wanted, he was
himself.
gay and he wanted a gay lover, but he didn't want to be gay in public. He wanted to be gay at home. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
So he went out looking to drag somebody into his little world because that's why he made that man that did that lobotomy on that guy. So he had him at home. When he come home, he can do what he wants.
Mm.
And a lot of people say that they didn't know that Dahmer was gay. That man said it. He said when he was in that bar, he did not know he was gay. He gave him no indication that he was gay. He
Mm-hmm.
said he flipped the switch once he put the handcuffs on him.
Mm.
And he was shaking when he was telling his story on the witness stand. Girl, I cried. That was a
No, I
grown
watched it.
man.
I watched it on YouTube
Did you
because
see his lip? How he was gripping his lip and trying not to cry? And he
yeah,
was like just sitting there. He was shaking. And you could
yeah,
tell it's affecting him then. And
Mm-hmm.
Diamond was sitting there like with a smile on his face, like he was, you know what I'm saying? Diamond was just sitting there just smiling and looking around. I just I just couldn't believe it. I was like, man, I
Man,
can't
this is
believe that
so much
we
nothing.
got devils in the world like that.
No, yeah.
You
right,
know,
Shade that.
right.
we got
I
we
mean,
got
it's
real devils.
interesting. I think it is more believable what you're saying, how that mother left him there, and he was younger than they said he was in the movie. It's almost like they was the way the movie
She
was
was
portrayed
scared.
too. Yeah, they was trying to still they still, even though I think a lot of people know what you're saying, I think they still don't want to let out that he did more than we even know of.
He did a whole lot, girl. There's a lot of dead people out here because of Dahmer. Like not Ed Gein, but John Gacy. It's a lot of more bodies out here due to John Gacy.
Mm.
And that was the one that down in Illinois on the north side was killing people and he dressed up like a clown. John
Oh
Gacy killed
yeah.
a whole lot of people. A whole lot. But they only told you about what was underneath that house. They never told you about the bodies he got rid of. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He had
yeah.
so many bodies, he ran out of room under his house. So he
Oh
started
my
getting rid of
God.
his bodies. And they didn't tell you about all that. John Gacy killed a whole bunch of people. And he owned his own contractor place where he remodeled houses.
Hmm.
So he out there in the public, girl, mingling with the people. You go in people's houses and businesses and you see their kids and whatnot. And he was killing them. Sure was. Offering them jobs. They come to his house, he give them something to drink, boom. He rape them, kill them. That's why I say I don't think they should take the movie down. I think it should be a learning tool for kids. And parents should say, sit down. I know it's a horrible thing, but here, watch this movie because you need to know what's out in these streets. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
And
Because
even
I mean, I don't know a better way to let you see that we got the boogeyman for real out here. You know, you going around thinking, I can handle myself in these streets. No, you
You
can't.
can't.
even to that at her point, like it's happening even on these apps, these dating apps where you meet people and like go out on a date or like meet them late at night, and some of
Mm,
them either get stuff put in a drink and they wake up and something they don't know what happened, or worse, they end up not being here anymore. So like
right.
I do agree with the fact that it does need to be here as far as like this is still out here no matter gay, straight, bisexual, whatever you're
Exactly.
into. It can happen to any one of us at any given point in
At
time.
any given point in time. And we need to stop shying away from it, thinking it's so horrible that we shouldn't talk about it or look at it. No, face this. Face this. That's why they're getting away with it. It's because they know that we don't want to see it, don't want to deal with it. So let's start dealing with it. Let's start dealing with it with our kids. Us as parents need to
Hmm.
educate our kids on this. Forget letting the teacher educate you. You sit them at home and you show them what you want to see. Let them see what's happening. You know,
I do believe we have to educate. I do believe we have to teach, and and because if you don't teach them, somebody else will. But at least if you teach them, you could control how you teach
the
them and what
narrative.
you say to them after they see it and how you explain things. I do agree with that because the world is not no. You can't protect the child forever. There's this song that I love. I can't think of it now. It's like late in my head, but I think it's called "If I Would." I forgot the singer's name, but pretty much she sang it in that song that like if I could protect you from this world, I would, but I can't. I got to set you free. I got to let you out there
Hmm.
to see for yourself. I absolutely love that song because it just kind of sums up, if you can, parenthood in the way that most of us should look at it, where you
Mhm.
got a time period where you teach your children everything that you can, but at some point you got to set them free.
You
But
do.
you hope when you set them free that they got enough in them so that when they run up against these situations, they can say, "Ah, my mom told me," like and hopefully pull it out. So, but if you never tell them to beware, they may run into somebody in the street that looks innocent and be like, "Can you bring my bags up to my house?" And they're thinking they
No.
just helping somebody.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm an only child, right? And I remember coming up, my mom, she didn't even tell me about sex. So I got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
knew nothing. I knew nothing about birth control, nothing about nothing. Because my mom didn't tell me about none of that. And I remember even after I turned 21, being in the club, I got my drink spiked because I
Mm.
wasn't told anything. You know what I'm saying? Thank God nothing happened to me, but I wasn't told anything. Girl, when I had kids, I would sit them down and I would say, look here, when you see a man walk up to you, tell them boys, I, I'm telling you, they gonna grab you. Don't let these men talk to you and try to get you go in their houses and help them. They're gonna grab you, take you
But
in the house,
listen,
put their
listen,
little thing
Virginia.
up inside.
You got to warn them about the ladies though too. Listen, crazy
Oh, I
people is
did too, but
yeah.
I sure warned about the men. And girl, I told them, I said, these women, they hot too. Girl, but I told my daughters, like I was warning my daughters, I was warning my sons, and my sons were scared. They were like, I was like, then they gonna call you, names and stuff. I say, because of what happened to you. My kids were scared, girl. They say, Mom, you scared us. You scared us so bad that we used to look at people cockeyed crazy, like what? I said, and if you feel unsafe, run and get your mama, because you know I'm gonna come and get it in with them, right? And
Mhm.
they was like, we was running you so much, they called us little sissies in school. I said, hey, words is words. I
Word
say,
is
but
word.
you got to understand that there is boogeymen and things were happening to their friends. And they were like, I told you what my mama told me. And but people say, you should have told your kid that. I said, girl, you do you and I'm gonna do me and I'm gonna raise my kids the best I know how because I gotta go to work.
Yeah.
I got
Mhm.
2 jobs. I gotta go to work. These are latchkey kids. I need my kids to take care of each other till I get home. So I ain't got time for you to be telling me that if somebody approached my kid's supposed to think they okay. No, they're
Mhm.
not safe.
And
You
listen,
know what I'm
people,
saying?
people, the unfortunately too, you know what happens? People watch people and they realize that somebody is a latchkey kid. They realize that, oh, this person goes to the bus stop themselves by themselves every day. They watch, they wait, they see, and then they do what they're going to do. Once they know that it's a pattern and that is so, yes, they do. It's very sad. Yes, thank you, Fatima. Regina Bell sings the song. I couldn't thank you. Helped me out. Listen, guys, we could go on and on with this conversation. Renita, I mean, thanks for coming through.
Yeah, I mean,
You
Yeah.
gave
I
us,
wanted to come on Sherelle's show, and I was like, that is not it. Y'all thinking the mama is bad people, but the mama was a scared lady. And she got the heck up out of there. She couldn't save Jeffrey, but she saved the rest of her kids. Now I
so
didn't
there
notice
was
the look.
more than, so there was more than one sibling because
It
in the
was
movie it
two. It was
only shows the
Jeffrey and then
one.
the other
Yeah,
one.
he had siblings. I think he had a couple of brothers. He had siblings. I even think he had a sister. I'm not sure because the mama literally changed her name, changed the kid's name. Even when they went to college, nobody knew they were related to Jeffrey Dahmer. To
That
this
was
day,
smart of
nobody
her.
know who those kids are because those kids didn't want to have. He messed with those kids when they were in that house. He was doing something to his own siblings to make his mama that scared that she left. People think she was taking drugs because she was just
Oh,
a
they made it
dopehead.
seem like she was
That
crazy
woman
and
was
didn't want to
trying to
deal with
deal
him.
with her husband. Her husband was doing stuff and she couldn't handle it. Then Jeffrey was acting crazy, and then she found out what because she kept saying, um, they said in the interview, she kept saying it was something under her house stinking.
Oh, yes, she did.
In her interviews with the police, she kept saying she always smelled foul odors and it wasn't just an animal. So she was telling them, go look under the house, go look under the house. And they would come back, oh, it's just a dead animal. But it could have been a human under that house because that woman said it was real pronounced in her house. Not just, I haven't had a raccoon under my porch. But they said this was overwhelming. She said in under her house. She was scared. So she
Mm.
left the crazy boy with the crazy daddy and bounced. Didn't look back. She didn't have nothing to do with her son. She didn't have nothing to do with that man. Didn't look back and eventually got her divorce and changed her name.
You know when they try to play like she just left her son
Yep.
just to fend for itself when it really was she saw that he was crazy and got out of there.
And she
Right.
was
And see that and
scared.
that spins a whole different narrative on the situation, right?
That lady
And
said
and
she was
and
scared.
right, right. Um, yes. All right. Listen, guys, I've been on almost three
Yeah.
hours. I love y'all.
I love
Renita,
you
I'm
too.
telling you, you gave a whole different spin
Do
and
it up.
perspective on this
Drop the
situation. And
bomb.
Girl,
I
I live
really do.
here.
Yes,
I didn't read it,
you
girl. I didn't read it. I was like at work doing my work, and I was like, "What? Woo, girl!"
you
And then
listen.
you gotta have people in the neighborhood was just talking because the cops were like they was messed up behind this, and they were talking, and they were telling what they were bringing out of that house. And they were telling about the interviews. Girl, none of that was a secret. They were telling their family, and their families were telling their friends. It was all in the street. Everybody was like, "Get out of here," because they were shocked at what they literally brought out of that house. It was so many people.
Yeah.
I
Now,
even
see,
went
that
over
I
there.
do remember on the news that they were like, that was very scary too, when they was talking about the amount of bodies and how they had to put on the certain suits just to go clean out that house.
They
I would
put the
really
people
love
in the
to.
building out. They said,
Yeah,
y'all gotta leave. You can't get your coat, go. Gotta
and that
go.
was that. Listen,
And that
Benita,
was
let
that.
me tell you
That,
something.
that means
Listen,
that
I need you to email me because I'm super tired.
oh yeah, I
But
understand.
I need you to email me because I would love to have a more conversation with you, and I want us
Yeah.
to take it in a little different spin too, because
Who
this
was me?
because what you yeah you because see what you're saying about the education piece, that's what Smoke and I were talking about, right? I and listen, my heart breaks for the families, and I can see how this can be very traumatizing for them to relive this. So I'm not discounting that, but I also think that we're losing a bigger piece, an educational piece, not just even with telling your children, but with what went on with the cops, and now we know the army, and now we know the person in the building. It's just so many more things to this where people could have perhaps closed this thing
Stop it.
down a little sooner before so many lives were taken. That's what needs to be discussed. Like you have in that neighborhood, they saw something and said something, but what they said was ignored. This is deep, and I would love to have a
And
greater
then look
conversation
at
with you.
if you like get into Jeffrey, like do Jeffrey. Look at when he first got arrested. Even as an adult. Okay, don't look at his childhood. Look when he was an adult and he got arrested. He got arrested a many times. So you kept letting them off. And the signs were there. The signs was there. They was just letting this man off. None of all those people could have been saved if they had a done their job. All the cops had to do their job. The judge, do your job. Quit
Yeah.
acting like because he white, he's privileged. Do your job.
Mm-hmm.
Act like he black and lock him up and throw the key away like you do
You
everybody
said
else
act
down
like he's
here.
black. Listen, I love
Yeah.
you. I love you.
I'm
You
being
have
honest
been
though down
you
here because
just
down here
wait,
the
hold on
black
one
man
second,
ain't got a
Benita.
chance.
Hold on one second. Amy, you're in the building. Did you want to add something really quickly? Because I'm about to close
No,
out.
just get her email, and I would love to see if you can get more people who was during that time hear the real stories. That's what I want to hear because this story right here trumps everything we watched in those 10
Don't it though?
episodes.
Don't it though?
But
It
then you
100%.
said
I
it
want to
on
hear more.
Sherelle's show. Y'all said it on Sherelle's show that one of those photographers said that basically the movie was a lie. Remember, she said that
Yeah.
it was exaggerating, that ain't what happened. It
And
was
I
a
believe
lie. They
that's
was
what if
making
you
it.
could get
They
some
didn't
more
have
family and
to
friends who were there at the time.
sensationalize. They just told the truth, and it would have shocked the world. If you just told, I can't remember half the stuff, but girl, it make you cry, drop your mouth. You was like, what the heck was going on here? Because it was so bad. It was just so bad.
But
And
see,
they
here's the
showed
thing,
stuff.
Benita, here's the thing I do know. With all of these documentaries and stories or whatever, even if you want to do something like the Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they add stuff to it to give it a flavor so that it can be something that the people will watch, right? But the thing is, though, with this, we would have never known when you watch this, you would have never known that the way they portrayed the mother was that she was just a crazy person tracing UFOs. You see what I mean? But what you
Yeah.
saying makes a whole lot of sense. That
They
she
wanted
wasn't
that
that
movie
she was
down, girl.
right. That right. But I listen, I got my email there. Please email me. Please contact me. Smoke, we are gonna have to get together and do this, I see.
Yep,
Um,
we sure
because
do.
it's a lot more
I
to
just
the
wanted to
story.
say,
Yeah, we do. We well, guys, but it's listen, y'all. My eyes are closing. My
Me
eyes are
too. I got to
closing.
go to bed.
I just wanted to
But
say hi. This is
I
my
love
first time
all of
coming
y'all.
in,
Yes,
This is
and let me
my
say,
first
and
time on your
I love
show.
watching your gray hair
and thank you
diva.
for coming. Oh, thank you, and thank
I
you for
love
coming.
watching you.
Yeah, and
I love
let
watching
me
your
say this.
show, and I love seeing you. Period on the different, on the different shows. I see you come on a little bit of everything, and I'll be like, "There go Gray Hair Diva."
I'll be here ready for the real
and, and
housewives.
and listen, I will say this. I think Trending Topics has been a hit. So I would definitely work it into the lineup. And it's a hit because you guys come through and you say what you have to say, and you give. And see, that's why we always got to hear from everybody, right? Because you have a mouthful and you was there, and I'm 100% connecting with every single word that came out of your mouth.
Yeah,
But
real
guys,
talk.
thank you for being here. We will do a part two. Smoke, you're coming with me.
Sure.
Benita, we want you there. We're going to have a greater conversation about this. And hopefully some of the people who are really feeling that they're stuck on take this movie down, maybe they will connect with us and understand why we're saying that no, there's more to this story. It does not need to be taken down. And as a matter of fact, this, even though it's years later, these cops, the building owner, some more people need to be held
It's life
responsible.
repeating itself.
Yes, right. Some more
Yeah.
people need to be held responsible for what happened because it
Because
didn't have
people
to
would just
be.
keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And our kids these days ain't like how we were when we were young.
Right. They're
And
not.
we
Right.
was scared of everything. We was like, go run and tell a neighbor, your mama, hey.
Right.
But now these kids think they better than them.
They
So
they think
they have no
they think
fear.
they know it all. They think they
They
Have
know
think
no
it
they
all.
have
fear.
no fear. They don't even
True.
fear death. So you got to
Right.
at least put some fear in them. Put
We
some
We
fear in
fearing
do.
them.
them.
We
Show
do.
it to
That's
them.
how.
Yes.
Listen, I was raised on fear, and I'm good over here. I was
Amen.
raised on it. But listen, y'all gonna have me talking all night. I love each and every one of y'all. I will see y'all next time. We'll talk soon. Benita, please email me. And
If
thank you,
do
everyone.
you have it where when the show over you can hold me and
Yes,
I
I
can just give
can.
you my.
Yep. Stay. Don't hang
All
up.
right, have a nice
Okay.
day,
I'm ending
y'all.
the show. Thank you,
All right.
everybody. Don't hang up,
Bye.
Benita. Okay. Good night.